It's Wednesday, October 22nd. Today, the owner of a local tutoring franchise shares more on what caused its abrupt closure, leaving staff in limbo and parents out money. Turned away from a Manitoba hospital, a family demands answers after a woman seeking help was sent home, where she later died. Long waits and inaccurate information. The scathing report about the quality of service at Canada Revenue Agency contact centres. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Wednesday. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. We have a lot in the next 3 hours for you, including another spooky haunt with Ainsley McPhail. She is live at Lower Fort Garry this morning. There are real-life ghost stories from that location as well. So we're going to learn a little bit more about them and also get a little bit of a history lesson about the fort itself. But the weather, it was a cool start this morning for me. I felt it was cool.
It's brisk out there, but you know what? We're finally back towards more seasonal temperatures. And speaking of spooky season, it's going to be a bit spooky today with those overcast skies. Definitely the case as we kick off our Wednesday. Outside, it's freezing, quite literally, below freezing at -1 degree. A couple clouds out there. Winds are light. They will remain so through the day. The barometric pressure is rising. The humidity sits at 94%. So that rainfall might finally be in our rearview mirror. Well, good morning, folks. Rearview mirror, but the clouds are not. We're not going to see a ton of sunshine today in southern Manitoba. It's picking up there on the radar. Much of the province starting off on a slightly overcast note. Meanwhile, there's a slight chance of some rainfall and flurries mixed in there in northern Manitoba. You can see that mixed precipitation there in very northerly parts. As the day progresses, it's not super organized. It's only 30% shot of precipitation, so you just see a smattering here or there while we deal with the clouds. The southwest rather, in store for a bit of a clearer day ahead. As the day progresses, we'll start to see our skies clear out slightly. That smattering of activity there. And overnight, we could get some fog patches here in the south, and that slight chance of rainfall and flurries continues in the north. Into tomorrow, though, we're starting to set the stage for a sunnier day to come. While the north starts off on a cloudy note, you too will get a couple of sunny patches to enjoy. Temperatures today at 7 degrees. 8 is more what's typical for this time of year. We haven't been dealing with a lot of typical temperatures in the last couple of weeks. As mentioned, temperatures slip below freezing overnight, and tomorrow that sun reemerges.
Thank you, Catherine. Parents are frustrated, staff are jobless, and both are out thousands of dollars. We're getting some long-awaited answers about the abrupt closure in August of Winnipeg's Sylvan Learning Centres. After a request by CTV, the owner of the local tutoring franchise agreed to a sit-down interview. CTV's Joseph Bernacki explains why he's not giving up on the centre despite losing everything.
To me, it's sort of still like, I can't believe it's going to just be gone.
Teacher Trina Knight has worked with Sylvan Learning Centre for 2 decades. This summer, her location closed temporarily, and she could tell something was up.
It was kind of like a period of limbo where the teachers that were still left, the ones that hadn't walked out, we really didn't know what to do.
Hours were cut and some staff left. But Knight says she stayed because she loved her job. Owner Les Redlinghughes stopped communicating and closed the doors. So she filed with the Provincial Employment Standards Office to get paid. Now she has 2 judgments totaling more than $4,000.
It's been very challenging. There's no money coming in. I actually had to move.
Les Redlinghughes has been the franchise owner of both Sylvan locations since 2020.
I mean, it's been horrible. This hasn't been good. I don't have any backup plan. I haven't stolen money. I haven't got a fund somewhere where I've taken all the people's money and put anywhere. I've put every single thing. I've actually sold my house and put the money in this business to keep it going.
He says the federal department in charge of Jordan's principal is to blame for the business losses. He said 90% of the kids in the program were First Nations and funded by the government while under the administration of the Southern Chiefs organization. But when ISC pulled the funding from SCO in early spring, he knew there would be trouble.
They got an email from ISC saying that there's no more funding for any Indigenous child in the whole of Manitoba. It's all been cancelled and we have to stop immediately. So you tell me, how do you stop a business immediately?
SCO did not respond to our inquiry. ISC told us they could not comment on this specific case or say how much Redlinghughes is owed. Now he says he's busy looking at other funding to pay people back.
Well, if the funding comes through 100%, I'm in. I'll even give them a bonus if the funding comes.
Knight said the lack of communication on Red Illinghue's part caused a lot of confusion.
I would have had so much respect for him if he would have just come out and said, this is what's happening. We all need to prepare.
While he insists he is trying to make right. There's parents that are out of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, we know that. I'm fully aware of that. Yeah.
What would you say to parents?
I'm busy organising funding.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The owner is being sued for more than $78,000 by the Business Development Bank of Canada over outstanding loan payments. As for the students, Knight says she's been reaching out to former Sylvan parents, trying to update them on what happened, offering her services privately. Indigenous Services Canada wouldn't tell us how many kids are left without lessons, citing privacy concerns. Thousands of dollars worth of American booze has gone down the drain as a result of the province's decision to retaliate against U.S. tariffs. Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries confirms more than $26,000 worth of expired wine and cream liqueurs were thrown out after being pulled from shelves earlier this year. The province says it was purchased before the ban went into effect. The Premier ordered Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries to stop selling U.S. products back in February in response to steep U.S. duties on Canadian products. At the time, Wab Canoe estimated it would take an $80 million bite out of the American liquor industry. The head of the union representing CRA employees says he's not surprised by the Auditor General's scathing report about the quality of service at Canada Revenue Agency contact centres.
You're getting the wrong answers most of the time. It cannot be, it's not acceptable, and it needs to change.
The union says the CRA has lost about 3,000 employees since last year, and those who are still there are exhausted. It comes after a series of AG reports which found most callers waited an average of 31 minutes, double the agency's service standard. It also found when they finally did speak to someone, they were often given wrong answers. The report says callers only got accurate information to general questions about benefits 56% of the time. Business tax questions were 54% accurate, and general individual tax questions were answered correctly only 17% of the time. In a rare move, Prime Minister Mark Carney will address the country in prime time tonight on Canada's plan to build a stronger economy.
One of our core elements of our strategy is diversifying trade. That's why we're going to Asia. You saw the Indonesian trade deal. We're in talks with ASEAN, which is the group of countries that I'm meeting with in Kuala Lumpur, and then more broadly at APEC, including with China.
Carney confirms there is a possibility for a new sectoral tariff deal with the United States by the end of the month, but is cautioning against being overly optimistic. Carney and his cabinet have been in ongoing discussions with U.S. President Donald Trump and his administration for months. Carney has also signaled that it is highly unlikely any country will come away from talks with the United States with an entirely tariff-free deal. Instead, Canada is hoping to secure deals on specific sectors, including steel, aluminum, copper, autos, and lumber. Carney will speak at 7:30 Eastern this evening. The federal NDP will hold its first official candidates forum today. It will be a virtual forum hosted by the Canadian Labour Congress. The 5 candidates running so far are former journalist Avi Lewis, social worker Tennille Johnston, Alberta MP Heather McPherson, Labour leader Rob Ashton, and Ontario farmer Tony McQuail. The NDP has also announced its first leadership debate will be on November 27th in Montreal. Now to a couple of matchups as Winnipeg High School JV football teams enter Week 8. Tuesday's matchups were the last of the Junior League's regular season. In Crestview, John Taylor Collegiate hosted Grant Park High School. The visiting team won Tuesday night. Grant Park 48, John Taylor 12. Also in the Gridirons, Steinbach Secondary beat out Kildonan East Collegiate 22-15. JV semifinals begin tonight. Here's what's happening right now at Confusion Corner in traffic. Nothing really to tell you about at this point in the drive. If you do see any problems out there, though, please let us know. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who is live at Lower Fort Garry this morning. It's a great place to visit, and sometimes it can be spooky as well. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Rochelle. Well, there's a lot of history behind this place, which means those stories even involve the paranormal. If believe in that sort of thing. Built in 1830s, it was a hustling and bustling trading post, eventually turned into a jail and asylum. So you can only imagine the storytelling that has been going on here for generations. Now they're inviting you at home to come and hear them yourself. So throughout the morning, we're going to be learning about the big house and hearing about some of the stories that Parks Canada staff have heard. One of them is a lady in white said to have lost her child so many years ago. And another one's at the blacksmith shop. And even just going into that prison, I feel like someone's watching me.
Ooh.
So,
and it's not just Kenny.
Not fun.
All right, we'll check in a little later. Thank you, Ainsley. Haunted, spooky, or just plain fun. Here at Your Morning Winnipeg, we love Halloween, especially those decorated yards and homes. And that's why we're looking for a Halloween house to highlight during our October 31st show. If you think yours fits the bill, you could win a $500 gift card from St. Mary's Nursery and Garden Centre and have the chance to show off your Halloween house live on Your Morning Winnipeg with a visit from Ainsley McPhail. To enter, head to our contest page at ctvwinnipeg.ca, fill out the form, and submit some pictures. Good luck. Let's go out to the rooftop now where Catherine Dow is in for Terry Gale this morning, and it's a chilly start to the day.
It is chilly, I must say. This is typical October temperatures, I should preface it, but we have had a very nicely pleasant, great weather terms there, fall. It's only been the last couple of days that have been a little bit more seasonal in terms of our temperatures, and not quite as sunny with that rainfall. Right now, though, we're dry, still cloudy, though, with temperatures at -3. Wind chill, I haven't used that term in a while, sitting us a few degrees cooler. Winds are light out of the northwest. The barometric pressure is rising and the humidity sits at 97%. So we'll see the clouds build throughout the day here in the south, with the exception of the southwest. A brighter day for you. Temperatures there also a little bit warmer, peaking around the 9 or 10 degree mark. We'll be a few degrees cooler than that. In Winnipeg, we're looking at a high of 7. To the north, more of a mix of sun and cloud, more in the way of cloud into the late afternoon, plus a slight chance of rain, flurries, or mixed precipitation off and on today and tonight. Into tomorrow, we get the sunshine back, not quite the heat, but southern Manitoba sees a sunny and above seasonal weekend ahead. So we just got to get through a couple of days of brisker temperatures. Alrighty, we're going to take a break, but stay with us. Lots more Your Morning Winnipeg still to come.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Good morning. A Manitoba woman is demanding answers after she says her sister, who had leukemia, went to a hospital when she had difficulty breathing. She coughed up blood while she was in the waiting room and was still sent home, where she died. CTV's Alex Carpa reports.
I miss her a lot.
Naturel Cook is heartbroken. Her sister Shandy Rianne Cook died after being turned away from a Manitoba hospital earlier this month.
My sister had leukemia, so she had a hard time breathing.
On October 11th, her sister went to the health center in Swan River in western Manitoba after experiencing some difficulties breathing. And while in the waiting room, she was coughing up blood. Cook says Shandy was sent home after being told nothing was wrong with her.
And my dad said that he wanted to phone the ambulance, but she didn't want the ambulance phone because they were just going to send her back home.
Shandy eventually went to bed, but never woke up.
Then my dad just told me that he did CPR on her, and it hurt a lot knowing that she went to bed right beside him and passed away in her sleep, and he woke up to her being gone.
Cook says her family is now in the midst of pursuing legal action against the hospital. Prairie Mountain Health, which oversees the hospital, says there's currently an investigation into the incident. Manitoba's Health Minister Uzoma Zaguera is aware of the incident and says the province is taking steps to ensure a tragedy like this doesn't happen again. But Cook says she wished it didn't happen and now is left with many questions.
Why? Why would they turn her away even though she had trouble breathing? She told them, and she was coughing up blood, and I don't see why they turned her away.
Shandy was 25 years old and leaves behind a 5-year-old son. Cook says she won't stop searching for answers until there's justice for her sister's death. Alex Carper, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Manitobans seem to be in line with the rest of the country in opposition to provinces charging for COVID-19 vaccinations. A new survey from the Angus Reid Institute suggests nearly 7 in 10 Manitobans disagree with provinces charging $100 for the shot. That's the same as the national average. It comes after Quebec and Alberta ended free COVID-19 shots for non-high-risk people. Nationally, those who voted Conservative in the last federal election were more likely to support adding a charge for the vaccine. A spokesperson for the Manitoba government says there are currently no plans to change the province's policy, which fully covers COVID-19 shots for anyone 6 months of age and older. The Canadian military is falling short on recruiting and training enough members to meet this country's operational requirements, a new audit finds. A report by the Auditor General of Canada found that despite a recruitment push and a massive spending commitment, on average, only 1 in 13 applicants ends up starting basic training. The Canadian Armed Forces are thousands of members short of their authorized staffing levels. About 70,000 Canadians have been found ineligible for national dental care. That's because of an error on how income was calculated for some applicants. Health Canada says after recalculating, about 70,000 people who were part of the plan were found ineligible. At least 28,000 of them have already received care. They won't have to repay coverage they received under the plan before October 24th. Notices have started to go out for the people affected. Eyewitness footage captured a deadly tornado ripping through a community north of Paris. The twister left 1 person dead and multiple people injured. The footage shows cranes toppling as the tornado ripped through the town. France's Interior Minister described the storm as sudden with a rare intensity. The North Atlantic right whale population is showing slow and steady growth. New figures estimate its population increased to 384 last year. That's up about 2% from the year before. Calves born this year are off last year's pace. On the bright side, though, there have been no deaths reported this year, with about 2 months left to go. This has been another strong cruise season for Vancouver's waterfront. 301 cruise ships and 1.2 million passengers passed through from March to October. The numbers didn't match records made last year, but they did live up to expectations. Vancouver remains a top destination for Alaska cruises. The port says cruise activity contributes more than $1 billion every year to the local economy. If you're an early riser, you may have noticed something unusual making its way across the sky. That's exactly what happened to a CTV viewer just north of Roblin, who quickly snapped this photo. A row of evenly spaced bright lights silently moving in a straight diagonal line. And while it may seem like a scene out of the X-Files, it's actually more likely this person witnessed several Starlink satellites shortly after their launch.
Last year, they were kind of rare to see them just after launch because there weren't as many being launched. But now with every, at least twice a week, there is a new set going up, and the odds are that somewhere in the province you'll be able to see a group of them if you're out at the right time.
Scott Young from the Manitoba Museum's Planetarium says over about a week, the satellites will slowly break formation and disappear from view higher into the atmosphere.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
Some road closures to remind you about this morning. The southbound curb lane is closed on King Edward between Bannatyne and William. Alexander Avenue is closed between Isabel and Sherbrooke. And the eastbound curb lane is closed on Springfield Road from La Jumadière to Cox Boulevard. If you have any other traffic tips to share, please text them to us at 10400.
The Bath Fitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
No satellites that I can see on our live eye, just some clouds. Temperatures at -3, wind chill in effect. Ooh, hate to say those words, making it feel a few degrees cooler. Winds are light out of the northwest. Barometric pressure is rising. Humidity sitting at 97%. So we're starting off on a cooler note, at least I should say. It is typical for this time of year, but we've had a very warm fall, so we have been overdue for it. We're below freezing through much of the province this morning, with the exception of Pinawa and Gimli and areas further to northwestern Ontario. You're still staying above freezing. To the north we go. Temperatures in that neck of the woods actually warmer than what we're seeing here in Winnipeg and surrounding regions. 2 in the Paw, hovering at 0 in Thompson and Churchill. On our radar, we're seeing a good amount of cloud coverage basically all throughout Manitoba here. It will be a cloudier day ahead for us here in the south. More of a mix of sun and cloud to the north, and even areas in Westman, Brandon, Nipawin, Nipawin likely to get a decent amount of sunshine while we'll be under the clouds. 0 as the kids head off to class. It heats up over lunch hour to 4 degrees, and on the way home, still under those clouds, 6 degrees. We're going to get a hair warmer than that. 7 is our high. 8 is what's typical for this time of year. Clouds persist with light winds. Overnight, the skies start to clear out a touch with some fog patches potentially developing. Temperatures dipping to -1. And tomorrow, the sunshine is back out. Mix of sun and cloud with a high of 8 degrees. Your Skywatch pick of the day, this one taken in Winnipeg Beach, a gorgeous shot taken by Pat. Thank you so much for sending that in, and keep your weather pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca. We're going to take a little break here on Your Morning Winnipeg, but stay with us. Lots more to come on this Wednesday.
Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. A dream vacation, home renovations, paying off some bills. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is grand. Head to the contest page on ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter the code word grand with your info for a chance to win CTV Your Morning Winnipeg's $20,000 giveaway. Good luck. Many people might still be recovering after staying up late to bask in the Blue Jays' victory. Now, health experts are offering some tips for parents whose kids want to stay up to take in the World Series or other late-night events. CTV's Pauline Chan has more.
Dr. Sally Kenaway was up last night with her 5-year-old nephew watching the Jays, but he didn't get to see the Game 7 winning homer by George Springer.
He really wanted to, but he got so tired, poor guy. So he went to bed in the 5th inning.
He got the winning score in the morning.
And so they updated him, and then they let him watch some highlights this morning before school.
Kenaway says she's a huge Jays fan, as well as Humber River's chief of pediatrics, and parents have some room for negotiations about bedtimes during the World Series.
Every kid is different. Every parent knows their kid best. So if a child has an important test the next morning, an important event, then maybe, try to negotiate going to bed earlier. And some kids, just the way they are, just their nature, they need routine.
For kids 5 and under, make a deal like her nephews to go to bed midway and catch up on highlights the following morning. But for older kids?
So it's a historic moment for Torontonians. Let the kids stay up, make an event out of it. They'll build memories. And you can actually use it as a learning experience.
For example, like how to handle the emotional roller coaster of winning or losing, and good sportsmanship.
George Springer got hit by a pitch. The other team was booing. A lot of kids are going to have questions about that. And I don't think that's something that should be encouraged, booing other teams when someone gets injured. So I think we need to be really conscious of our own behavior and what we're doing and know that our kids are going to model that.
If your child is tired the next day, a nap could help.
A limited nap after school, like a 30-minute nap. We're not talking 2-3 hours.
But she says fortunately 4 of the World Series games are scheduled on weekends, making things a little easier for fans and families. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
If you thought watching Game 7 was stressful, try buying a World Series ticket.
I was shocked by the face value. When I got through, I was like, that's a lot. But everyone was messaging me that they couldn't even get through the queue. So I figured, well, I better buy these.
Fans who logged on yesterday morning found themselves in online queues, at times 200,000 people deep. Those who managed to get through saw seats in the 500 level going for about $500. That's face value. In comparison, a 500 level ticket in the 1993 World Series cost $30. It took about 30 minutes to sell out. On the resale markets, some field-level tickets are being listed for tens of thousands of dollars. Fans are now being warned, if a deal seems too good to be true, it probably is.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Casting our eye to the sky, a little bit cloudy to kick off your Wednesday. It's -3 degrees, but that dreaded wind chill is back, cooling us off a couple more degrees from there. Winds light out of the northwest, likely to be the case throughout the day. Barometric pressure is rising, humidity at 97% this hour. So yes, maybe not a ton of sunshine on the way for us here in Winnipeg and surrounding regions. However, other parts of the province in for a sunnier day, like folks in Westman, Brandon and Nipawin, Dauphin, for example. And to the north, although you're seeing some clouds to kick off the day there on the radar. You'll likely deal with a fair amount of sunshine while we stay overcast. Meanwhile, temperatures a little bit sluggish, peaking at 7 degrees. That's just below what's typical for this time of year. As mentioned, those winds light out of the northwest at 15 kilometers per hour under those mainly cloudy skies. Overnight tonight, we start to see a couple clouds dissipate, though we could be joined by some fog. Temperatures dipping down to -1 with those winds shifting slightly out of the west, staying light at 10 kilometers per hour. And then tomorrow, a bit more in the way of sunshine under a mix of sun and cloud. 8 degrees as we get a little bit warmer, and those winds staying light. From there, we do have a very lovely weekend ahead. We're back above seasonal on Friday with lots of sunshine and 11 degrees. Saturday, 16 degrees if you can believe it. Apologies, I believe this temperature is wrong. I believe we're closer to 9 degrees under a mix of sun and cloud. But then we kick off next work week under a high of 12 degrees, but with that rain.
Police have arrested and charged 2 men in connection with a homicide that happened more than 2 years ago. 33-year-old Tremaine Traverse was found dead at a hotel in the 600 block of Main Street in March of 2023. Winnipeg police deemed the death a homicide. And on Tuesday, police announced they've arrested 2 men. 36-year-old Dion Trent Spotted Eagle is charged with second-degree murder, and 34-year-old Harry Andrew Bittern is charged with aggravated assault. Both men are in custody. Police say the victim knew the accused when he was murdered. None of the allegations has been tested in court. Pushing for bail reform, Winnipeg's mayor was in Ottawa Tuesday urging parliamentarians to use the bail system to crack down on repeat violent offenders.
For too many years, Winnipeg has also been a violent crime capital. With the right laws and the right strategies, I know that we can change that.
Scott Gillingham appeared before the Standing Committee on Justice and Human Rights to represent Manitoba mayors. The Winnipeg mayor has been calling for bail reform for months, even sending out weekly bulletins highlighting crimes being committed by people out on bail. Gillingham says he asked for public safety to be at the forefront when considering bail, saying everyone has a role to play in community safety.
Case from kind of the street level community perspective of what we're seeing as mayors and what I'm seeing as a mayor in Winnipeg. But the fact that our police services are rearresting the same individuals time and time again, many of whom were out on bail and breaching their court orders. And every time that happens, especially with violent offenders, we put our frontline service members at risk.
The bill going before Parliament is set to include reverse onus bail for major crimes, allow for consecutive sentencing, and impose harsher penalties for organized retail theft. It's expected to be tabled this week. The old Canada Packers site at Marion and Archibald in St. Boniface could soon look very different. A major infill project called the Water Tower District was unveiled by developers Tuesday. Those plans include a big grocery chain, retailers, and more. CTV's Jeff Keel shows us how those in the area are feeling about the plan.
Canada Packers meat plant in St. Boniface was imploded in 2001. Left behind since then, an empty site, 165 acres. But now, development plans are taking shape.
A very nice addition to an infill place. It's always been there.
Shindico says it's acquired 14 acres to start the retail component of the project in 2027. Area businesses and residents can expect restaurants, drive-thrus, and a 30 to 40,000 square foot anchor tenant, a grocery store. The developer says they're reaching out to the big chains like Safeway, Co-op, Sobeys, and Loblaws.
There's enough market share, and there hasn't been a new grocery store or new retail in the area for a long time.
The property, known as the Water Tower District at Marion and Archibald, will also include hundreds of residential units, offices, industrial lots, and park space, so customers for the retailers are built in.
People have to see the rooftops. People have to see the customers.
But traffic is already a concern for many who use this intersection, especially when trains bog things down.
Together with the residential across the street, it's going to be a crazy corner.
Joe Sisahai, who owns this auto body shop on Marion near Archibald, says adding thousands more people to the mix will make things worse for drivers and his customers.
It's very difficult, turning into the lot here. Most of the times we have to ask them to go to the back.
He'd like to see an underpass constructed and the street widened. City Council long ago abandoned plans for an underpass because of the massive price tag. Shindico says the development won't have a major impact on traffic.
Traffic studies have been done. People, instead of driving by, will drive in.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Nova Scotia RCMP are disputing witness accounts in the case of 2 children who went missing in May. Investigators conducted a review of surveillance footage from the area where 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan were reported missing and say there is no evidence to support reports of a vehicle driving back and forth in the area. The RCMP had recently released new information about the case, including witnesses who reported hearing the vehicle but not visually seeing it. RCMP say the account has not been substantiated as a key element of the police investigation. German and Norwegian defense ministers are trying to persuade Canada to buy submarines from their joint venture.
If Canada decides to want to produce on its own territory from which point of time ever, then that's possible too.
The defense ministers are in Ottawa this week making a case for why Canada should pick their conventional submarine over a rival South Korean proposal. The Canadian Armed Forces wants 12 submarines, and when maintenance is factored in, the contract will be worth hundreds of billions of dollars over a number of decades. With only one in operation, Canada needs new submarines urgently. The Germans say their subs have stealth mode and are being tested in the north. Here's what's happening now in traffic on Portage Avenue. Looks like things are pretty smooth over here. No issues to tell you about. If you see any problems out there, please let us know. And here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.32. The provincial average is lower at $1.25. In Winnipeg, the average is also $1.25. And the lowest price in the city is $1.08. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Ainsley McPhail is live at Lower Fort Garry this morning, telling us all about the spooky ghost stories there, as well as the ghost tours that are available for Halloween. Stay with us.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
Bit of a brisk start to your Wednesday, and while we will be getting up to more typical October values, it's going to take a couple of days before we surpass that. As mentioned, it's chilly with temperatures at -3, the dreaded wind chill making us feel more like -6. Conditions fairly overcast to kick us off. Winds are light, barometric pressure rising, humidity at 97%. So northern Manitoba, more of a chance for some sunshine for you. However, there is some slight instability in your region. Environment and Climate Change Canada forecasts about a 30% chance of some rain showers or maybe some flurries mixed in there. That risk lasts throughout today and into tonight. Your high today is around the mid-single degree mark, about 5 degrees, although cooler the further east you go. In southern Manitoba, we here in central regions will see overcast skies as mentioned. Temperatures peaking at or around seasonal. That's 7 for us here in Winnipeg. The southwest, though, will be a couple degrees warmer, plus some more sunshine to enjoy. Alrighty, we're going to check in once more time with, or many more times, I should say, with CTV's Ainsley McPhail, who is spending the morning at Lower Fort Garry.
Good morning, Catherine. It's creepy, isn't it? Tons. It is. It's dark at this time, too, so I think that's what makes it a little bit more eerie. Ben Gillis joins us now to tell us all about that history and how you at home can take part in some ghost tours. So first, paint a picture built in the 1830s.
Yep, exactly. So this is a Hudson's Bay Company fur trade post. It was established here, as you say, in the 1830s and has been here since then. These are some of the oldest buildings in Manitoba, and therefore we think that kind of makes them some of the most haunted, some of the creepiest ones around. Specifically, we're in the Ross Cottage. There are a few different stories. My favorite is that supposedly there's the spirit of a little girl who is, her presence is in the room that we are in right now.
So have people heard giggling? Have they? What makes that people think it's that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, some people have even actually sort of seen or felt a presence of a little girl. They have lots of mediums who have come through. The mediums have done sort of different seances, different ceremonies here. They say that there's the presence of a little girl. There's a rocking chair in the room, and oftentimes people will come in, they will see the chair rocking, and they think that that's the little girl sort of playing around. Things will be moved around sort of over the course of the night, and they think that that's the girl just having a little bit of fun with us.
You have no idea how happy I am that you told me that after we went to air, because I think if you did before and I just subtly looked at the rocking chair, I truly felt the hairs stick right up. When it comes to ghost tours, the ones that I mentioned, when is that happening and what will that look like?
Yeah, so the ghost tours have been running all October, and they're going to have us on Friday and Saturday again of this coming week. And so basically you get to come through. There is a tour guide who will take you through the different buildings, telling you all the stories. There are also a few different interpreters, so they're dressed up in costume, and they'll tell the stories as well, but sort of from a more first-person perspective. And then we also have a tavern on site, so if you need to sort of calm your nerves with some libations at the end, you can come have a beer or hot chocolate as well, stuff like that.
We're almost out of time. Is there anything else you want people to know about either logistics or just the spookiness of this place?
Yeah, so if you are interested in coming out, grabbing tickets, it is the Friends of Lower Fort Garry, our organization, that puts that event on. So you can come grab tickets at folfg.com.
Thank you so much. Kids are cute, but maybe not hearing a little girl laughing when there's not a little girl there. Okay, we'll see you guys in the 7 o'clock hour.
Looking at the early markets, the Dow Jones made a slight adjustment. The Nasdaq slipped slightly. The S&P index seeing little change. The loonie is trending higher, trading around 71.40 cents U.S. The Hang Seng lost 245 points, and the Nikkei index is flat. Good morning. It is 6:46. Snowbirds flocking south for warmer weather are being met with a new process. Some Canadians are being fingerprinted and photographed at the border. CTV's Harrison Shin explains why.
Owa Schleikia and Yvonne Fosti flock to Scottsdale, Arizona nearly every winter, trying to escape the snow. Like so many other snowbirds, autumn is when they cross into the United States.
We stay approximately 5 months plus, 5 months now.
Over the years, we've developed friendships that are valuable to us, so we enjoy our circle of friends.
Back in the spring, the U.S. government put in an order that foreigners, including Canadians who stay more than 30 days, need to register their fingerprints and have their photo taken. Stephen Fine from Snowbird Advisor says he is hearing from some snowbirds that the law is being enforced at some crossings.
Some people at the border are being required to obtain an I-94 at the border, which requires you to be fingerprinted, have your picture taken, and there's a $30 U.S. Fee per person.
Fine says this practice isn't happening in every border crossing. It can vary from location to location and even depend on the individual officer. That is leading to confusion and inconsistency. He says be prepared for whichever option the officer exercises.
From what we've heard and seen so far, nobody's been rejected at the border. They've just had to go through a process they may not have been aware they had to go through.
For the snowbirding couple Schleikia and Fosti, the requirements are not a big deal to them. They will be ready for whatever they encounter on their way south.
I had to get photographed and fingerprinted all the time when I went to the States.
I respect their country. They want to know who's in their country, how long they're staying, and I have absolutely no problem with that.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The city of Winnipeg is looking to sell off some of its properties for just $1. The catch? The sites must be developed as housing for vulnerable Manitobans. On Monday, the city's Standing Policy Committee on Property and Development approved an amended plan to sell some vacant sites for $1 each. It includes land on Stella Avenue, McPhillip Street, and Plessis Road. An application for Sherburne Street was denied after residents voiced concerns about losing the public green space. The committee is also considering selling a site at Poseidon Bay. The amended plan still needs to be voted on by the committee before going in front of City Council. The federal Liberals say they're starting to worry they won't be able to pass their budget.
I see opposition parties not ruling out the possibility of voting for the budget. That's starting to worry me, but I think it's them that are misreading the mood of Canadians.
Opposition leaders have started coming out with their wish lists before the budget is tabled on November 4th. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre has called on Prime Minister Mark Carney to keep the deficit under $42 billion. The NDP, meantime, says it's up to the Liberals to gather support. The minority Liberals need support from at least one of the opposition parties to pass the budget. If it fails, there could be another federal election. The Winnipeg Goldeyes season is over, but the team is already looking forward to next summer. Its 2026 regular season schedule is now out.
He swung on in the center field. Miles Symington.
The first 100 games is May 15th in Milwaukee with a home opener May 19th featuring a Goldeyes jersey giveaway and fireworks. There's 7 fireworks displays slated for the upcoming season. The Goldeyes will play 50 home games at Blue Cross Park, and Winnipeg will once again play at home for Canada Day. The schedule also features the return of several familiar promotional games, including a Father's Day game on June 21st, Bark in the Park, and a Manitoba social night. Some road closures to remind you about this morning. The southbound curb lane is closed on King Edward between Bannatyne and William. Alexander Avenue is closed between Isabel and Sherbrooke. And the eastbound curb lane is closed on Springfield Road from La Gimaudière to Cox Boulevard. If you have any traffic tips or updates to share, text them to us, please, at 10400.
Starting off on a cloudy note on this Wednesday, that won't be changing too much. Temperatures will be warming up, though. It's -3, that wind chill making it feel more like -6. Winds are light out of the northwest, barometric pressure on the rise this hour, humidity at 97%. Yeah, we start off with the clouds and we will remain under them for us here in south central portions. Meanwhile, the southwest likely for a sunnier day, even though the radar is picking up that cloud coverage. To the north as well, more of a mix of sun and cloud for you. However, with it does come about a 30% shot of some rainfall, maybe some flurries mixed in there. Temperatures at 4 degrees in Thompson and Island Lake, 3 in Gillam, 4 in Churchill. That same risk applies to the northeast under some cloudier conditions, 7 degrees in the Pas, 6 in Flin Flon, 4 in Lynn Lake, 6 in Norway House. Southwestern Manitoba, as mentioned, clear, sunnier skies and much warmer temperatures, 11 degrees in Brandon, 10 in Neepawa and Dauphin, 9 in Swan River. For us here in south central portions, potentially fairly overcast. Winds will remain light throughout the day. Meanwhile, Morden, Portage La Prairie, a little bit more sunshine for you to enjoy. Temperatures there peaking at or around seasonal 8 is what's typical for this time of year. Northwestern Manitoba, a good chance of rainfall coming to most of this area with the exception of Kenora, which will be clouded. Into the rest of the week, we do see the return of the sunshine tomorrow with a temperature starting to heat up a little bit, that high of 8 degrees. And then we're on the good path there on Friday with lots of sunshine and double-digit highs of 11 degrees. This temperature was wrong last hour, but I didn't realize how long. 16 degrees is the high on both Saturday and Sunday, well above seasonal. But as you look into the start of next work week, we kick it off with some showers, 12 degrees, still warm at least. Start to lose a little bit of heat on Tuesday as those showers start to taper off.
Thank you, Catherine. Inflation is accelerating faster than expected in Canada. The Consumer Price Index rose to 2.4% in September. Gas is one factor behind the inflation bump. And as CTV's Kathy Lee reports, food was the other.
The aroma of fresh brews mingles with the tension of the rising cost of this commodity. Johanna Schwartz has had to slightly increase the price of a cup, but will hold it steady for now.
It's really important that we stay accessible. So if that means that we have to take a bit of a bite on that for a while, we will.
Coffee, just one of the items driving up grocery price inflation, according to Stats Canada. Beef is the other. Supply shortages for both and high demand are driving up the price.
We've seen beef go up in year over year over 10%. Coffee has gone up more than 20% in the past year.
StatsCan also shows Canadians are paying 4% more year over year last month for groceries. The jump mainly due to the high cost of fresh vegetables, sugar and candy.
Some of those costs that you're experiencing in the current StatsCan had been impacted by retaliatory tariffs that the Canadian government had put in place.
The lingering impact painful for many.
Usually I set a budget of like $250 and that only gets me like a week.
Schwartz also feeling the struggle, personally and as a business owner. It's a daily grind, but she'll do what she can to keep the coffee flowing.
It's not much how much, but how long. How long can we handle the absorption, right? So I would say for us, we would have to probably sit for around maybe 3 or 4 months.
Experts say the lingering effects of the retaliatory tariffs will eventually subside and ease food price inflation in the near future. As for beef, it's expected that it will take a couple of years for those prices to fall. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Calgary.
Prince Andrew is under fresh scrutiny after the release of a blockbuster memoir by one of Jeffrey Epstein's accusers. It recounts in harrowing detail the physical and mental abuse she suffered as a teenager at the hands of several men, including the prince, who just days ago relinquished his titles, including the Duke of York. CTV's Joy Malbin reports.
It is brutal and shocking. Written before Virginia Giuffre took her own life, detailing how she was brutally beaten, choked, and raped on Jeffrey Epstein's island by an unidentified prime minister, and feared she might die as a sex slave. She doesn't name the man, but writes she was trafficked by Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell to the rich and powerful, including forced to have sex with Prince Andrew multiple times when she was just 17. He was friendly enough, she wrote, but still entitled, as if he believed having sex with me was his birthright. She wrote about that infamous 2019 BBC interview that backfired for the prince.
Categorically, I don't remember meeting her at all.
He knows exactly what he's done, and I hope he comes clean about it.
She claims Andrew's legal team hired internet trolls to hassle me. And though they settled out of court, her book is sparking new accusations and humiliating headlines, alleging Prince Andrew asked a royal police officer to dig up dirt on Giuffre after she accused him of sexual abuse. And leaked published emails suggest the prince kept up his friendship with Epstein longer than he claimed.
Commenting in 2018 that he had ceased contact, and then in 2011 we've got this set of emails that are released that essentially say we'll play again soon and we're in this together, right?
For Virginia's family, there's a sense of vindication and a plea to the U.S. president to release the Epstein files.
This is one of the biggest cases of corruption, and we're asking you to do the right thing.
Buckingham Palace may have hoped the scandal would fade after Prince Andrew renounced his royal titles, but British police say they're actively looking into Giuffre's claim that Andrew asked a royal officer to investigate her.
We're going to take a break here. We'll be back after this with more Your Morning Winnipeg. Stay with us. It's Wednesday, October 22nd. Today, closure on the closing. Who is being blamed for the closure of Winnipeg's Sylvan Learning Centres? Plus, showing opposition how Manitobans feel about the idea of paying for COVID vaccines. And expert advice, what seniors can do to prepare for upcoming travel. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. It is 7 o'clock. Welcome to Your Morning Winnipeg. Thank you so much for being with us here this morning. At 7:52, we're going to tell you about the Manitoba Dental Foundation. For the past 10 years, they've been helping underserved Manitobans get oral health care. And so we're going to find out a little bit more about their Smile Gala and how that gala makes it possible for them to do that important work. So we're going to delve into that. But the weather, it's a cool start today. We're under zero.
Yeah, you know what? Spooky season is in full effect, and Mother Nature is just on theme. So we can't falter for that. Yes, quite cloudy out there. The good news is, after a couple days of rainfall, we're going to be dry today. Might not be the case for all of the province. I'll have details on that in a moment. But yes, starting off on a bit of a chilly note, -3. That wind chill making it feel a little more like -6. Haven't had to say wind chill in a while. I'm not loving it. Overcast skies, winds out of the northwest, very light. The air pressure is on the rise, and the humidity sits at 97%. So yes, some cloud coverage to kick us off. We will be under those overcast skies, and the province as a whole is under that condition as well. However, more sunshine is on the way for actually most regions except for Winnipeg and a few surrounding communities. Our futurecast gives us a better sense of this. However, in the north, there is a very slight chance of some rainfall and maybe some flurry activity, maybe some mixed precipitation. You can see that in very northerly corners. As the day progresses, just kind of a little flicker there, a very disorganized little system there. It looks like a good amount of cloud coverage here, but you'll get a couple of pockets pockets of sunshine into the later afternoon. You can see the southwest clears out nicely while we stay relatively cloudy into the late day. Some fog patches, meanwhile, could develop overnight here in southern Manitoba. To the north, cloudy to kick off the day, but some more sunshine on the way for you while we clear out here in the south as well, and we start to see those temperatures rise slowly but surely. For today, though, we are slightly below seasonal. 7 is what we're looking at. 8 is what's typical. Overnight temperatures dip to -1. Tomorrow the sun is back. We start to inch a bit higher, 8 degrees. And then on Friday, we're back above double digits with lots of sunshine. And then the weekend looks pretty stellar. 16 degrees both days on Saturday and Sunday. Your weather art of the day, Elijah drew this one. Elijah, excuse me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Lots of sunshine to enjoy there. I believe that's a great pumpkin as well. Thank you so much for submitting. And if you've got any of your kids' weather-themed artwork handy, snap a photo. We'd love to see it. And be sure to send them our way at winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
Parents are frustrated, staff are jobless, and both are out thousands of dollars. We're getting some long-awaited answers about the abrupt closure in August of Winnipeg's Sylvan Learning Centres. After a request by CTV, the owner of the local tutoring franchise agreed to a sit-down interview. CTV's Joseph Bernacki explains why he's not giving up on the centre despite losing everything.
To me, it's sort of still like, I can't believe it's going to just be gone.
Teacher Trina Knight has worked with Sylvan Learning Centre for 2 decades. This summer, her location closed temporarily, and she could tell something was up.
It was kind of like a period of limbo where the teachers that were still left, the ones that hadn't walked out, we really didn't know what to do.
Hours were cut and some staff left. But Knight says she stayed because she loved her job. Owner Les Redlinghughes stopped communicating and closed the doors. So she filed with the Provincial Employment Standards Office to get paid. Now she has 2 judgments totaling more than $4,000.
It's been very challenging. There's no money coming in. I actually had to move.
Les Redlinghughes has been the franchise owner of both Sylvan locations since 2020.
I mean, it's been horrible. This hasn't been good. I don't have any backup plan. I haven't stolen money. I haven't got a fund somewhere where I've taken all the people's money and put anywhere. I've put every single thing. I've actually sold my house and put the money in this business to keep it going.
He says the federal department in charge of Jordan's principal is to blame for the business losses. He said 90% of the kids in the program were First Nations and funded by the government while under the administration of the Southern Chiefs organization. But when ISC pulled the funding from SCO in early spring, he knew there would be trouble.
They got an email from ISC saying that there's no more funding for any Indigenous child in the whole of Manitoba. It's all been cancelled and we have to stop immediately. So you tell me, how do you stop a business immediately?
SCO did not respond to our inquiry. ISC told us they could not comment on this specific case or say how much Redlinghughes is owed. Now he says he's busy looking at other funding to pay people back.
Well, if the funding comes through, 100%, I'll even give them a bonus. If the funding comes.
Knight said the lack of communication on Redlinghughes' part caused a lot of confusion.
I would have had so much respect for him if he would have just come out and said, this is what's happening. We all need to prepare.
While he insists he is trying to make right.
There's parents that are out of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, we know that. I'm fully aware of that. Yeah.
What would you say to parents?
I'm busy organising funding.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The owner is being sued for more than $78,000 by the Business Development Bank of Canada over outstanding loan payments. As for the students, Knight says she's been reaching out to former Sylvan parents, trying to update them on what happened, offering her services privately. Indigenous Services Canada wouldn't tell us how many kids are left without lessons, citing privacy concerns. Manitobans seem to be in line with the rest of the country in opposition to provinces charging for COVID-19 vaccinations. A new survey from the Angus Reid Institute suggests nearly 7 in 10 Manitobans disagree with provinces charging $100 for the shot. That's the same as the national average. It comes after Quebec and Alberta ended free COVID-19 shots for non-high-risk people. Nationally, those who voted Conservative in the last federal election were more likely to support adding a charge for the vaccine. A spokesperson for the Manitoba government says there are currently no plans to change the province's policy, which fully covers COVID-19 shots for anyone 6 months of age and older. General Motors is ending production of its Bright Drop electric delivery vans in Ingersoll, Ontario, leaving many workers devastated.
This is heartbreaking. It's like, okay, what are we going to do? What's next?
Where can we cut more corners?
Hundreds of workers were expecting to go back in November when the plant was set to resume production, but now all of it is being scrapped. The company says the decision is related to low demand for the product. The future of the facility is also unclear. Unifor says they will meet with GM and both levels of government to press for a new product mandate so the plant remains part of Canada's auto industry. We're heading into shoulder season, the time of year in between peak and off-peak travel times. And if you're a senior looking to enjoy some time away, one expert has some tips to make the trip go smoothly.
As we get older, traveling can be a little bit more challenging because we have certain, chronic medical conditions.
Dr. Colleen Reedy with Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center says the first thing to think about in retirement travel is medication. It should be packed in carry-on luggage along with a list of medicines you take and the conditions you have just in case you have to receive medical care away from home. Second, Reedy says to protect yourself from flu, COVID-19 and RSV during respiratory virus season through vaccination.
Maybe consider wearing a mask on the plane if you know you don't want to kind of get it. Even just a cold can kind of put a damper on travel plans.
Reedy says to protect your legs and feet, compression socks can help, especially during long car rides. When you're taking a long flight, she says to also pack comfortable shoes which are non-slip and supportive. If you're traveling for more than 4 hours, make sure to stretch your legs and move your body. Here's a look at what's happening now. Kenison and Sterling Lyon. Everything looks like very well and smooth going over in this part of the city. If you see any problems out there, though, please let us know.
Weather is brought to you by MJ the Musical at Centennial Concert Hall, November 5th to 9th.
The continued U.S. government shutdown is leaving Canada in the dark when it comes to exports. StatsCan says it hasn't received any data on U.S. imports of Canadian goods for the month of September. That means it may not be able to release the scheduled trade figures on November 4th. Well, gold is extending its losses after taking a hit yesterday. The precious metal dropped to a more than 12-year low on Tuesday, driven in part by an easing of geopolitical tensions. The pullback brought a quick stop to the rapid advances that have been underway since mid-August. Warner Brothers Discovery is considering putting itself up for sale. The entertainment giant said it recently received unsolicited interest from multiple parties. Some of the potential suitors are Netflix, Comcast, Apple, and Amazon. WBD says it is keeping its options open. And those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Lindsay Biscaya.
Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at Lower Fort Garry this morning. What's going on there?
Well, I'm standing at Gabesho and Rochelle, the hub for Indigenous programming here at Lower Fort Garry. We're in the spooky season and we're giving you a bit of a history lesson. So this was built in 1830s by the Hudson's Bay Company, of course, that hub on Treaty 1 for the fur trade. Later in the 19th century, turned into a jail and an asylum. So there's no shortage of storytelling here at Lower Fort Garry. Parks Canada staff are witness to this, right? They'll have a wedding, they're here late, say 1 in the morning, it's dark, they hear something that's not there. So we're going to get those first-hand accounts from folks who have experienced this. It's also been attractive to paranormal societies and experts who will come and hear and see their own sort of thing. You at home can see it too because they've got those tours happening on Friday and Saturdays. And at the end of it, you can even have a beverage. So stay with us at 7:28. We've got another story to come.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. How's it feeling out there, Catherine?
A little bit brisk. In fact, we've even lost a little bit of heat from last hour, Rochelle. And I should note as well, it's kind of odd for us. We are one of the coolest regions of the province, if not the coolest. Most other parts, including the north, are dealing with above freezing temperatures already. While we are at -2 degrees, our wind chill decently severe for this time of year, making it feel more like -7. Good amount of clouds out here. Winds are light out of the west. The barometric pressure rising, humidity at 98%. So we'll start in the north, where there's a good amount of sunshine on the way, particularly to the northeast. Mixed in with that is a potential for some rainfall, maybe some flurries mixed in there, that mixed precipitation. only about a 30% shot for you. Temperatures there at the mid-single degree mark, hovering around the 5 point. Meanwhile, for us here in the south, we're going to deal with clouds here in Winnipeg, but many areas further to the west of us, a good amount of sunshine for you. Temperatures in many regions for us here in Winnipeg and communities around us are looking at highs, excuse me, around the 7 degree mark. A little bit warmer in Westman, looking at about 10 degrees for you. Overnight tonight, skies staying partly cloudy, maybe some fog rolling in as well in southern areas. Tomorrow we get the sunshine back. Our temperatures start to inch up a little higher, and then the weekend, happy to report, is looking absolutely stunning. Winnipeg has highs of 16 on Saturday and Sunday under clear sunny skies.
Time now for our question of the day. We want to know, have you ever had a paranormal experience? If you have, please share your story with us. You can text your answer along with your name to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. Mickey, Minnie, and all their Disney friends are skating back into Winnipeg next month, and we want your family to join in the fun. Disney on Ice Let's Dance features all your fave characters, as well as some that are new to the ice. There's Elsa and Anna, Moana and Maui, Ariel, The Lion King, and Wish. Disney on Ice takes to the ice at Canada Life Centre November 7th to the 9th, and Your Morning Winnipeg has 2 family packs to give away to the Friday evening show. To enter, head to our contest page at ctvwinnipeg.ca and fill out the form. Good luck. We're going to take a break here. We're going to be back after this with more news and some entertainment too. Good morning. It is 7:16. Thousands of dollars worth of American booze has gone down the drain as a result of the province's decision to retaliate against U.S. tariffs. Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries confirms more than $26,000 worth of expired wine and cream liqueurs were thrown out after being pulled from shelves earlier this year. The province says it was purchased before the ban went into effect. The Premier ordered Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries to stop selling U.S. products back in February in response to steep U.S. duties on Canadian products. At the time, Wab Canoe estimated it would take an $80 million bite out of the American liquor industry. The Prime Minister Tuesday confirmed the possibility of a tariff deal with the U.S. that would apply to certain sectors.
We'll see. We're ongoing discussions with the Americans, and I wouldn't overplay it.
Government sources told CTV News they're hopeful there could be movement on a steel and aluminum deal as early as this week. If you're an early riser, you may have noticed something unusual making its way across the sky. That's exactly what happened to a CTV viewer just north of Roblin, who quickly snapped this photo, a row of evenly spaced bright lights silently moving in a straight diagonal line. And while it may seem like a scene out of the X-Files, it's actually more likely this person witnessed several Starlink satellites shortly after their launch.
Last year, they were kind of rare to see them just after launch because there weren't as many being launched. But now with every, at least twice a week, there is a new set going up, and the odds are that somewhere in the province you'll be able to see a group of them if you're out at the right time.
Scott Young from the Manitoba Museum's Planetarium says over about a week, the satellites will slowly break formation and disappear from view higher into the atmosphere. Now to a couple of matchups as Winnipeg High School JV football teams enter Week 8. Tuesday's matchups were the last of the Junior League's regular season. In Crestview, John Taylor Collegiate hosted Grant Park High School. The visiting team won Tuesday night. Grant Park 48, John Taylor 12. Also on the gridiron, Steinbach Secondary beat out Kildonan East Collegiate 22-15. JV semifinals begin tonight. Here's a look at the current traffic situation around McPhillip Street. It looks like things are moving really well starting off this Wednesday morning. If you see any problems out on this area or any other area of the city, please let us know and text them to us at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
Now for some entertainment news, 2 Manitobans have made the list of finalists for the 2025 Governor General's Literary Awards. Real Ones was written by Winnipeg's Katharina Vermette and tells the story of 2 Michif sisters who must navigate the fallout from accusations their mother has falsely claimed Indigenous identity. And Small Ceremonies is a novel from Lake Manitoba First Nations Kyle Edwards. It's a coming-of-age tale about the highs and lows of a group of Indigenous students growing up in Winnipeg's North End. Both authors are finalists in the fiction category. The winners receive a $25,000 prize. A 20-year-old Canadian piano sensation has won silver at the prestigious International Chopin Piano Competition in Warsaw. Kevin Chen was one of 5 Canadians competing and walked away with $65,000 Canadian. The nearly century-old event is described as the Olympics of the piano world, takes place every 5 years, and is named after the famous Polish composer. If you're still riding the high of Oasis's Live 25 tour, now you have a chance to pick up some Oasis memorabilia.
It's the biggest Oasis collection of music memorabilia to ever come to market anywhere in the world.
The sale is expected to make more than $5.5 million among the 150 items. Handwritten lyrics and instruments, including Noel Gallagher's 1960 Red Gibson guitar, which Liam famously damaged during a bust-up on stage in 2009. They think that guitar could sell for as much as $937,000. Put your knowledge to the test with The Floor at 7. Shifting Gears follows at 8. Catch The Amazing Race at 8:30. And Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage is on at 10. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
The Bathfitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
I'm still shocked Oasis made it through that tour without any dust-ups, let's just say. Those feuding brothers did it. Already outside, it's pretty chilly out there, -2 degrees. That wind chill making it feel more like -7. It is overcast out there. Winds starting to pick up slightly out of the west at 14 kilometers per hour. Pressure rising, humidity at 98%. So we are dealing with the clouds to kick off the day, and we will be staying under them while the rest of the province clears out nicely around us. You can see that cloud coverage picking up on our radar. Off and on throughout the province. But as mentioned, we are in store for a decently cloudy and not terribly warm day. 7 degrees is what we're looking at here in Winnipeg. 8 is what's typical. Winds will stay light out of the northwest at 15 kilometers per hour. Overnight tonight, skies are partly cloudy. Maybe a fog patch or 2 could develop. Temperatures slipping below freezing. Winds at out of the west at 10 kilometers per hour. Tomorrow, we start a slow climb upwards. We start to see the sunshine peak out. More of a mix of sun and cloud expected. 8 degrees with those westerly winds once again fairly light. Friday's looking like the start of a nice warm up. 11 degrees above seasonal under those clear sunny skies. Temperatures not dipping a lot overnight to 5. And then look at what we got in store for the weekend. Saturday, clear sunny skies at 16 degrees. A mix of sun and cloud in store for Sunday once again at 16 degrees. While we keep a good amount of heat into the start of next work week, we lose the sunshine, gain a good amount of rainfall. That should stick around through the evening and then taper off slowly on Tuesday. Your Skywatch picture of the day, a gorgeous sunset there that Pat Pajak was able to snap in Winnipeg Beach. Thanks so much for having that camera handy and sending that photo our way. And if you've got any weather photos to share, send them to us at winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Thank you, Catherine. Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. A dream vacation, home renovations, paying off bills. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is grand. Head to the contest page on ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter the code word grand with your info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Winnipeg's $20,000 giveaway. Good luck. At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions are amazing. We want more, whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals. Please send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to petoftheweek@ctv.ca. And then catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. The Auditor General says the Armed Forces is falling behind on enlisting enough soldiers to meet Canada's operational requirements. And those who do make it into uniform may not be able to access adequate housing. CTV's Rachel Aiello reports.
While National Defence has lots of plans, a lot of it is based on outdated information.
An alarming assessment from Canada's Auditor General and a quick admission from the Defence Minister.
We have work to do.
Amid a massive military spending boost and this government's renewed efforts to recruit, a pair of audits released today revealed that the Canadian Armed Forces is falling short in 2 key areas that could have long-term implications.
The Canadian Armed Forces isn't recruiting enough members.
While thousands apply each year, only 1 in 13 candidates make it to basic training, and the military isn't tracking why. Recruitments are also taking twice as long as targeted, and there's instructor and equipment shortages. Compounding this, the forces have failed to plan for and provide enough adequate housing for the recruits that do make the cut.
So this is going to impact retention.
After examining the conditions at a Navy base in Esquimalt, BC, an Army base in Gagetown, New Brunswick, and an Air Force barracks in Trenton, Ontario, the AG found many quarters lacked amenities like Wi-Fi and desperately needed significant repairs.
Toilets weren't working, or there was structural damage to the exterior walls of the buildings. The kind of conditions that you and I wouldn't want to live in.
Critics call these findings unacceptable, but today the government was adamant that changes are being made.
We know that the better the conditions of living, not just housing, but childcare and dental and medical, things we're investing in, the higher performing they are. We want a high-performing military. We have one. We're getting there.
These reports cast new light on long-standing issues that military leaders have pledged to address for years. CTV News asked the current Chief of Defence Staff for comment today, and she declined. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Ainsley is live at Lower Fort Garry this morning. We're going to find out about some of the spooky tales you can learn about the site. Stay with us. Let's go back now to Ainsley Bickfeld, who's live at Lower Fort Garry, enjoying a fire. And you need a fire because it's dark and spooky there right now.
And cold. And cold, Rochelle. Yes. I didn't think that it would ignite, but just before we went to air, the ghosts of Fort Garry lifted it up. Carolyn Weiss joins us now. Lots of spooky stories here. You yourself have actually been witness to some?
Yes, so I've worked here for many years with Parks Canada before switching over to the board with the Friends of Lower Fort Garry, and I've had a fair number of sort of feelings and occurrences here at the site.
Okay, what comes to mind, top of mind first?
I spent a lot of time in the big house, which we'll be visiting later this morning, and my favorite one is still, so one of the things that we do there is we have like tea parties or afternoon tea when visitors come through, and we're in big dresses with lots of petticoats, and I remember going down the stairs one day and carrying the tea tray with all the expensive porcelain china. And I remember at some moment being like, I just lost my footing on the stairs, and I was like, oh God, here we go. That's it. Like, I'm going to go down. The tea's going to go down. And I remember just feeling a really comforting sort of hand, sort of like grabbing my shoulder and just righting me again. And there was no one around me. So it was a very comforting presence and someone who was out looking for me. And that was one of the times that I had something here.
I appreciate your optimism because that would have terrified me for sure. No one's there. When it comes to recording these, because you're not the only person who's seen this, you've attracted paranormal enthusiasts as well. How do you guys record all of it?
So in essence, it's really word of mouth and then just transcribed onto the computer. So over the years, as people have told other people, it's been written down, it's been collected. We have a collection of stories, and this goes all the way back to when we were restoring the historic grounds, or Parks Canada was. So even like the 1950s and 60s. And then it just sort of stays in a collection. And then we sort of vary them throughout the years, but we have some classics that we do every year as well.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to put you on the spot. Oh, the fire's out. Ghost again. I don't want to put you on the spot, but we're at Gabesho and around the fire. Any stories about this particular area?
So this area right here was not an original site for the Indigenous peoples when they came. They tend to stay a little bit farther away from the fort, but using the site for visitors when I come through, we had a little bit closer. We do tell a traditional Indigenous story here about the Wendigo, and it's very creepy around the fire, so it's something we really recommend as one of our highlights of the evening. But there's buildings around this area that have that have the stories in them from the ghosts.
So comforting to know that we're living in one of the most haunted provinces ever.
Yes,
Great.
Indeed. Okay, well, stay safe. Thanks, Ains.
Back to you.
And it's a cool start to the day. You could hear that wind in the microphone, and it looked really cold there. You need a fire.
You do, yes, because finally it's starting to feel more typical, to October values. We've been pretty much spoiled this fall, save for those rainy last couple of days. Temperatures currently at -2 degrees. That wind chill, not a term I've used terribly often, out of making us feel more like -7. Overcast skies, light winds, barometric pressure rising, humidity at 98%. So we have the kind of a cooler start for us here in Winnipeg, while most other regions in the province are much warmer. We're all below freezing here in portions of South Central, Portage-la Prairie included, Morden and Winkler at -1. But when we go further west, most regions are, or most communities rather, are above freezing, and northern Manitoba also in a similar warmer start to the day. Meanwhile, we're dealing with some cloud coverage. That's the case throughout much of the province. I know Thompson had some snow already. We will start to see these clouds move out later on today while we stay under those overcast skies. I really am having some issues tongue-tied today. When you put the kids on the bus, it'll be at around freezing under those clouds. They are continuing all throughout the day. Temperatures inch up to about 6 degrees, and just a little bit shy of our high today, which is 7 under those fairly light westerly winds and overcast skies. Overnight, partly cloudy skies, maybe a fog patch or two, temperatures dipping down to -1. Tomorrow, mix of sun and cloud with temperatures starting to creep up to 8 degrees. Friday, 11 degrees under the sunshine, and can you believe what we have in store for Saturday and Sunday? 16 under the sunshine, more of a mix of sun and cloud on Sunday, but not losing any heat. However, on Monday, we stay above seasonal, but we get that rainfall likely expected to taper off on Tuesday.
Manitoba's progressive Conservatives are calling foul over the NDP's plan to develop an extended drug detox centre at a 24/7 shelter in Point Douglas. The PC's discovered a permit issued for 190 Disraeli describes the space as being used for drug consumption. The NDP say it was a clerical error. This screenshot of the city's website showing one of the permits issued last week includes a description for the addition of 20 safe consumption rooms and staff facilities. Of note, this site was previously picked to be a consumption site. However, community backlash squashed the NDP's plan. The Premier then announced the site would house a 20-space detox facility for people being detained while on meth and other strong drugs, with plans to add another 20 spaces early in the new year. By Tuesday afternoon, the information on the city's permitting website changed, and the site no longer makes any mention of consumption sites. The city issued a release clarifying no permits for consumption sites at 190 Disraeli had been issued, and says someone incorrectly wrote the word consumption rather than sobering. The PCs, however, maintain Manitobans deserve a clear explanation.
Now, less than an hour ago, but after our press conference was called, magically, somehow, the permits have now been changed online. The NDP changed it. Did they change it because they were caught? Did they change it because we called a press conference and they knew they were going to be caught? How do you possibly mix up a detox center and a drug consumption space?
A statement to CTV News from Housing, Addictions and Homelessness Minister Bernadette Smith says, quote, "The Tories need to stop playing games, and that 190 Disraeli is the site of a sobering center, not a supervised consumption site." She says the city already corrected an external party error on the permit, and their focus remains making sure Manitobans get the help they need. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Jerusalem this morning, attempting to push the ceasefire forward.
It's not easy. I never said it was easy, but what I am is optimistic that the ceasefire is going to hold and that we can actually build a better future in the entire Middle East.
Uncertainty remains over the peace plan, including disarming Hamas, the deployment of an international security force in Gaza, and who will govern the territory. Vance says progress is better than anticipated, but notes there is a lot of hard work ahead. Hamas has transferred 15 out of 28 deceased Israeli hostages under the first phase of the U.S. brokered deal. And Israel has now identified the bodies of 2 hostages returned by Hamas. Israel's military says one of them is an 85-year-old who was abducted from his home during the Hamas-led attack on Israel on October 7th. The IDF says he was killed in captivity on November 17th, 2023. The other is a 38-year-old who was killed while fighting Hamas gunmen. His body was then taken to Gaza. The Louvre reopened for the first time this morning since Sunday's jewel heist. Visitors can be seen lining up outside the museum, which is facing scrutiny over its security measures. Thieves broke into the Louvre using a crane, then stole 8 items from the crown jewels. The stolen pieces are estimated to be worth more than $100 million. 3 museums in France have now been targeted by thieves over the span of about a month. The Louvre's director will answer questions from senators today. Some road closures to remind you about this morning. The southbound curb lane is closed on King Edward between Bannatyne and William. Alexander Avenue is closed between Isabel and Sherbrooke. And the eastbound curb lane is closed on Springfield Road from La Jumadière to Cox Boulevard. If you have any traffic tips or updates to share, text them to us at 10400. And here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.32. The provincial average is slightly lower at $1.25. In Winnipeg, the average is also $1.25. And the lowest price in the city is $1.08. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Haunted, spooky, or just plain fun. Here at Your Morning Winnipeg, we love Halloween, especially those decorated yards and homes. And that's why we're looking for a Halloween house to highlight during our October 31st show. If you think yours fits the bill, you could win a $500 gift card from St. Mary's Nursery and Garden Centre and have the chance to show off your Halloween house live on Your Morning Winnipeg with a visit from Ainsley McPhail. To enter, head to our contest page at ctvwinnipeg.ca, fill out the form, and submit some pictures, please. Good luck. Right now, we're sitting at -2. It's mainly cloudy out there. We'll be back after this with more Your Morning Winnipeg.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
A cloudy kickoff to your Wednesday. Temperature sluggish at -2. That wind chill, though, making it feel more like -7. Winds are out of the west this hour at 14 clicks. Pressure rising. Humidity sits at 98%. Welcome back. We are dealing with a cloudy start to our day here in Winnipeg, as mentioned, and we're one of the few areas that's going to be sticking with those clouds throughout the day, although our radar shows us all dealing with some overcast skies. I saw Thompson also had some snowfall to kick us off this morning. For us here in Winnipeg, we're getting up to a high of 7 degrees. Winds will be out of the northwest at 15 kilometers per hour with mainly cloudy skies. 8 is what's seasonal. Overnight temperatures slipping below freezing once again to -1. Winds out of the west once again under those partly cloudy skies. And from there, tomorrow we start a slow upward trajectory. 8 degrees with those westerly winds with more of a mix of sun and cloud. Meanwhile, Friday is when things really heat up. We're looking at a high of 11 degrees under those clear skies. Temperatures not losing a lot of heat overnight with 5 as those skies remain partly cloudy. Into the weekend, it's looking pretty darn gorgeous. 16 degrees if you can believe it. With clear skies ahead, lighter winds. Temperatures once again staying mild overnight at 8 degrees. Couple clouds starting to move in, setting the stage for a mix of sun and cloud on Sunday. Again, a balmy high of 16 degrees. The bad news is Monday. We do hang on to above seasonal temperatures, but we're losing the sunshine, bringing in some rain. Hope you didn't put those umbrellas away just yet. 12 degrees with showers expected off and on throughout the day and overnight as temperatures dip to 5. Tuesday, a couple periods of rainfall in the morning, tapering off with a high of 9 degrees.
All right, let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at Lower Fort Garry. It is a spooky place, and they have real ghost stories there as well. You're going to share another one. Good morning.
She actually wouldn't tell me yet because I think she wants me to be so surprised in real time. We're standing in the fur loft right now, Rochelle, and you wouldn't be able to tell. I mean, the candles are helping us set the scene, but it's as creepy as you'd think it is. Carolyn's joining us once again. Tell us the story that you won't tell me quite yet.
All right. So before modern security systems and cameras, they had men here called turnkeys, or security guards, essentially. But they were called turnkeys because what they had to do is they had to walk each level, go to the end of each level, and then turn a key to prove that they had been there. Right. So it's made a log, sort of like that they had walked and turned and seen each corner and everything of the building. So the story here goes that the gentleman that had worked here for many years came into this building and was walking around downstairs and went to turn the key, and he heard walking upstairs. And considering that it was animated at that time, which means that we had costumed interpreters here from Parks Canada, he thought, oh, it's probably someone got locked in. So he wandered upstairs. He looked right behind us here, and there was a gentleman in a historic costume. And he said to them, oh, well, you can't be in here. You've got to get out. I'll let it go, you know, this time, sort of thing. But follow me out so that you're not locked in here. And the man proceeded to turn around and walk through the wall. And apparently the next morning they found him in his car with his resignation ready to go. He wouldn't come back in.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, he's probably friendly. Did he even offer the man a coffee?
You've been saying that too. You said it's a calming presence.
Yeah, I've never had a presence here where I felt like, oh, I'm in trouble, or like they don't want me. I've always felt like, oh, there's people or there's something here, but they're just more interested and they just want to make sure that their site is taken care of.
Wow. Okay. This room specifically, what would happen back in the day?
So right now we're in the fur loft building, and we're in the loft part of the fur loft building with the furs. So it's appropriately named building. And so up here, a number of the furs that were traded into the Hudson's Bay Company, so they'd be traded in for credit and then used in the store downstairs. But the furs would be stored up here before they were shipped back over to England.
Okay. Walks through the walls. Fascinating. 8:06, we have another conversation.
Thank you, Ainsley. A major watchdog is shining a spotlight on the Canada Revenue Agency. The Auditor General revealing that in many cases, call centers designed to help Canadians cut through complicated tax questions just weren't doing their job. CTV's Abigail Beeman has more on the findings.
You don't need to be stalled. You don't need to be dropped. You need to be dealt with and worked with.
David Cornish is not surprised. The Auditor General reports people calling the Canada Revenue Agency waited twice as long as last year to get through. He's wasted enough time himself.
Hours and hours, and then dropped. And the next day, hours and hours, and then dropped.
The report also found callers only got accurate information to general questions about benefits 56% of the time. Business tax questions were 54% accurate. And at the bottom of the barrel, general individual tax questions answered correctly only 17% of the time.
We found that the accuracy was much higher when questions pertain to specific accounts.
Why does this government force Canadians to pay so much for such terrible service?
You're getting the wrong answers most of the time. It cannot be, it's not acceptable, and it needs to change.
The union boss blames working conditions, cuts, and a lack of training.
They're watching the employees like Big Brother. They are almost harassing them when they take too long to go to the washroom and their breaks, instead of focusing on the accuracy and then giving them sufficient training.
The minister responsible says they're looking at improving AI bots and scheduling calls.
I'm not prepared to say we're going to cut. I'm not prepared to say we're going to add. We're looking at it. We're going to make service better.
The government says they've already made great progress with a 100-day plan to improve services. The union calls it a Band-Aid, saying if there's no new money in the budget, things may only get worse.
A dad in Orillia, Ontario is keeping Halloween spirits high with a tradition going 6 years strong. Derek Lehman is lighting up his part of his neighborhood with Halloween movies projected right on the side of his house. This year's lineup includes classics like Ghostbusters and Beetlejuice. He's also been streaming some Stranger Things episodes. The final one of the year is Saturday from nightfall to 11 p.m. Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy 12th birthday, Avery Bell. Enjoy your special day. Love mom, dad, and all your siblings and family. Happy birthday, Gloria. Have a great day. Love from all your family. And a happy 99th birthday to Anna. We are so blessed to have you. Wishing you health and happiness always with love from all your family. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff. 3 Winnipeg locations and at partystuff.ca.
Weather brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful, helping your home get holiday ready with blinds from Hunter Douglas.
A brisk kickoff to this Wednesday, and we're not going to be getting a ton warmer. 7 is our high, just a hair below seasonal. Actually, we're a good bit below what we experienced last year and well below that heat record set back in 1901. We're starting off quite sluggish here in Winnipeg. We're currently still below freezing at -2, though that wind chill making us feel more like -7. Cloudy and cool, winds out of the west at 14 clicks. Excuse me, barometric pressure is rising. Humidity sits at 98%. It's been a bit of a morning for me and this yapper. Okay, so we're dealing with some cloud coverage throughout much of the province. We're going to stay under those overcast skies here in Winnipeg, while much of the rest of the province will start to clear out. To the west of us, temperatures will be warmer in the upper single digits to lower teens, while we'll stick at about 7 as mentioned. Meanwhile, to the north, temperatures cooler, but a good amount more sunshine on the way. However, a slight chance of some rainfall and maybe some flurry activity mixed in. That dogs you today and overnight with those partly cloudy skies. Us here in the South Sea, temperatures dip below freezing with clouds starting to taper off for us in Winnipeg, though some fog could be joining us. Into tomorrow, though, a mix of sun and cloud through much of the province. Temperatures start to climb a little bit. We're getting to a high of 8 degrees here in Winnipeg, wind staying light. But then into the weekend, much of the south is in store for a beaut. We're looking at temperatures in the mid-teens with lots of sunshine to enjoy before some rain does roll in at the start of next work week.
The Manitoba Dental Foundation has been helping to improve oral health for Manitoba's underserved, vulnerable, and homeless populations. The foundation is a nonprofit and is run by volunteers, but providing that dental care takes money, and a fundraising gala helps the foundation meet its goals. The event is called the Smile Gala, and this year, award-winning Manitoba musician Chantal Kreviazek will be performing at the event. Joining us now to tell us more is the Manitoba Dental Foundation's Executive Director, Frank Hector. Good morning, Frank.
Good morning. It's delightful to be here.
Well, thank you so much for being here. Now, this foundation was created 10 years ago. Overall, why was there a need to create it in the first place?
Well, dentists recognized that there was an unmet need amongst the underserved, the vulnerable, and the homeless. And there isn't a dentist that I know that doesn't do work pro bono within their office. But no single dentist is going to be able to address the, as I say, the unmet need. So a group got together and organized, had the idea to organize a charitable organization that its purpose was to raise funds to improve the oral health of those individuals who did not have access to oral health.
Okay, and because oral health is very important to your physical health.
Absolutely.
Tell us how.
Oral health is a part of overall health. It's critical for systemic health. There's a relationship between heart disease, infections, and a variety of other generic or general illnesses that are impacted by decay or disease or infections in the mouth. And there's also the issue around oral cancer. Dentists are the first ones to see patients, ideally on a regular basis, and be able to diagnose and observe and refer patients for oral cancer treatment. One of the organizations that we support is the Never Alone Cancer Foundation. Again, Lyle Bauer, you may recognize, people may recognize his name, established that organization. And these are one-offs. These are people who have had significant surgeries, radiation treatment, need significant reconstruction, and we have been able to provide grants to the Never Alone Cancer Foundation for that purpose.
That's amazing. Okay, so let's talk about the foundation itself and what you do to provide that help to those who need it. You do it through dental kits?
We do it through Dr. Tom Dobbs, a pedodontist who passed away. It consists of age-appropriate toothbrushes, toothpaste, and floss with a sleeve to store them. In the last year, we distributed 6,300 oral health kits throughout Manitoba to varying different organizations. We have partnered with Harvest Manitoba, so these oral health kits can be included in the food insecurity baskets. again, we're more than well aware that the need is extensive, and we're doing whatever it is we can to improve oral health and awareness about the importance of oral health for Winnipeggers and throughout Manitoba.
So the dental kit or the oral kits are great, but you also provide grants so people can get the dental care they need.
We do. We have a grant proposal opportunity for organizations to submit their proposal. For example, we provided funds to the Manitoba chapter of the Ukrainian Council to provide basic dental care for immigrants and refugees from Ukraine. We've done a similar thing for CNIB. One of the things that I was initially very proud of is that we translated the oral health, how to maintain your oral health, into Braille.
Okay,
and
lovely.
we paid for that, and it's available across the country, coast to coast to coast.
We're almost out of time already. Sure. The gala is a big part of making this happen and making this possible. What do you want people to know? How can they support you?
Well, the Smile Gala is our signature event. It is one of the ways that we raise funds to fulfill our mission. We typically want to have, we invite Canadians like Chantal Kreviazuk and ideally Manitobans to be our guest speaker. And we expect there to be 400 people. Wow. We'll have a live auction and a silent auction. And it's really just an opportunity to have fun, join the camaraderie of those who are inspired.
Such a great cause indeed.
Inspired by our desire for healthy smiles through inspired generosity.
Frank, thank you for sharing this with us. If you want more information, we do have a link on our website on how you can support the cause. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hey there, Lindsay Hamilton inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. And for this one, we are taking a trip to Oklahoma City. It is the Thunder and Rockets tipping off a new NBA season. Third quarter here, Andrew Wiggins takes flight, just throws down a monstrous slam. The 6'5" guard putting the 6'10" Clint Capella on a poster, and Wiggins delivering possibly a Dunk of the Year candidate on opening night, no less. That right there, your must-see moment. Flying in style. Meanwhile, Wednesday on TSN, we've got an NBA doubleheader for you. First up, it's the Cavs taking on the Knicks. That is followed up by the Spurs and Mavs. Coverage all begins 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. That's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a wonderful Wednesday.
The TSN Must-See Moment is brought to you by Super Blinds, helping your home get holiday ready with Blinds by Hunter Douglas.
It's Wednesday, October 22nd. Tutoring turmoil. Sylvan Learning Centre suddenly closure has parents and staff out thousands and searching for answers. Plus, Ukraine strikes. Russia launches new drone and missile attacks. Could this escalate further? And Spooky Catch, a rare multicultural crustacean, just got a Halloween spotlight. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Welcome to Your Morning Winnipeg. A little later in this hour, we're going to have a brand new cookbook from cook Anna Olson. Also some hair art pieces, which is really cool and kind of spooky.
Like art hair is used for,
yes,
never mind.
It's a Victorian era tradition, so we're going to find out a little bit more about that. But the weather starting off under zero this morning.
It's cooler out there, folks, and it's quite cloudy as well. The sun has officially risen, -2 degrees. That wind chill cooling us off a few degrees from there. Winds are out of the west. The barometric pressure on the rise this hour. Meanwhile, our humidity is at 98%. So while we're dealing with the clouds here, the rest of the province is going to see them taper off throughout the day. Our radar is still showing a good amount of blanket kind of all throughout the province. That'll start to move out of the skies a little later on. Our Futurecast gives us a better sense of that. Also today, with that cloud coverage comes a little bit of instability in the north. This kind of speckling there, you can see blue and green. That means mixed precipitation possible. About a 30% shot off and on throughout the day. As you can see, the southwest particularly clears out nicely, while the north deals with a couple of periods of sunshine while we stay pretty overcast. Overnight, a few clouds remaining for us, maybe some fog catches, some speckling there. The potential
potential for some rainfall or flurry activity, as mentioned, continuing. Then into tomorrow, we start off on some sunnier skies, and we get a little bit of heat back, but we're going to do much better into the weekend, while the north starts to cloud over on Thursday after a fairly sunny day. In terms of our heat, I mentioned we are getting up to about 7 degrees today. 8 is what's seasonal. And then into Thursday, we get that sunshine back under a mix of sun and cloud with a high of 8 degrees. Friday, though, is when things get good. 11 degrees under the sunny skies. And then the weekend is looking stunning. 16 degrees on Saturday, and same for Sunday, just to throw in a couple extra clouds. Your weather art of the day, this one was drawn by Elijah, just 5 years old. A lovely fall scene there with a pumpkin. Thanks for submitting. And if your kids have any weather-themed artwork, we'd love to see them. Email your entries to winnipegweather@ctv.ca. We're going to be featuring one every day here on Your Morning Winnipeg.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
We're learning more about the sudden closure of Winnipeg's Sylvan Learning Centres in August.
To me, it's sort of still like, I can't believe it's going to just be gone.
Teacher Trina Knight has worked with Sylvan Learning Centre for 2 decades. She stayed despite her location closing temporarily over the summer and hours being cut. When owner Les Redalugis closed the doors, she filed a claim with Employment Standards and now has 2 judgments totaling more than $4,000.
I mean, it's been horrible. This hasn't been good. I don't have any backup plan. I haven't stolen money. I haven't got a fund somewhere where I've taken all the people's money and put it anywhere. I've put every single, I've actually sold my house and put the money in this business.
He blames the loss of federal funding through Jordan's principal in the spring, saying 90% of students were First Nations and supported by the Southern Chiefs organization. SCO didn't respond to our inquiry, and Indigenous Services Canada says it can't comment on the case. Redalingis is also being sued for more than $78,000 by the Business Development Bank of Canada over loan payments. He says he's seeking new funding to repay staff. Russia has launched fresh drone and missile strikes in Ukraine. This is footage taken near Sumy showing the moment a drone hit an apartment building. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says at least 7 people were killed in strikes that also hit Kyiv and Kharkiv. This comes after U.S. President Donald Trump put a planned summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin on hold, saying he doesn't want a wasted meeting. About 70,000 Canadians have been found ineligible for national dental care. That's because of an error on how income was calculated for some applicants. Health Canada says after recalculating, about 70,000 people who were part of the plan were found ineligible. At least 28,000 of them have already received care. They won't have to repay coverage they received under the plan before October 24th. Notices have started to go out for the people affected. And just in time for Halloween, here's a lobster in costume, sort of. This is Jack-o'-lantern. She's a rare calico lobster. It was caught off the coast of Massachusetts, and her unique look booked her a ticket directly to Northeastern University's Marine Science Center. Her coloring makes her a 1 in 30 million lobster, and is the result of the mixing of chemical compounds found in crustaceans. Very cool. Here's a look at what's happening now on the St. James Bridge. Things appear to be moving quite well over here. No issues to tell you about. If you see problems out there, let us know, please. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at Lower Fort Garry this morning. It's starting to light up a little bit in the background there, but still pretty spooky, Ainsley.
Yeah, that's nice. Just a little light. I like that you're trying to make me feel better, probably. That's your intention. We're in the big house right now. Totally. We're in the big house right now. Kristen Sundquist joins us to tell us all about it. You guys do tours, and this morning we've heard everything from person walking through a wall to children laughing. What area are we in right now, and what are some of the stories to tell?
So we're in the mess hall of the big house right now, and one of the stories we tell is that there was a person who was working here, and she was in the house by herself, and the room next to her, she heard this loud crash. She went to check it out, and the room was just a mess. Things were all over the place. So yeah, and she was totally by herself in here, so she got pretty scared. So that's one of the stories that we touch on in the big house here. And at my time working here the last couple of years, I've noticed that there are some things that happen around here a bit unexplained, where nobody will be in the house here and things will be moved on their own. We've also had things knocked over while people are here in the house, nobody anywhere near it, nothing, no kind of explanation for it. There's all kinds of spooky little knocks, whispers, all sorts of stuff. Things happen almost on a daily basis here. Daily? Yeah.
Okay, so our last guest appeared to be very calm about all of it. How do you feel?
I was a little scared at first. Okay. This is my third year working here. So the first year I was a little on edge about things happening and going bump in the night. But my third year here, there's something a little calming about the spirits. It's nothing too scary. They're friendly.
You're going to have to watch this interview and hear what you said. There's something calming about the spirits. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. People are coming for the tours, though. What do people like about it before we're out of time?
Well, they like to hear a lot of the history. We tie in a lot of the history with it. We also dress up in the historical garb, so that's always a fun twist on it. So this year and last year, we kind of tied it in so that we were present day 1800s. You're walking into history, essentially. So people really like that. The atmosphere is all just, I think being in a historic place is already kind of, yeah, neat, but also spooky already, even if you don't have the scary stories.
Well, you said it yourself. There's something calming about the spirits.
All right, thank you, Ainsley. We'll check in a little later. Fall into fashion with your Morning Winnipeg for your chance to win. To help warm up your wardrobe, we're giving away 3 $500 shopping sprees from Outlet Collection Winnipeg. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and submit your details. And make sure to join us on Fashion Fridays for the latest in fall fashion from Outlet Collection Winnipeg. A very lucky fan took home a big piece of Blue Jays history Monday night, George Springer's series-winning home run ball. CTV's Allison Hurst caught up with him to tell the tale.
With that crack of the bat, George Springer's home run was launched into Blue Jays history, and a piece of it caught by Michael Angeletti, who scrambled to get his glove on.
I only got it in like this, so I couldn't make this squeeze. It went into my glove first, but I couldn't squeeze it. And other people trying to get it propelled it up, and then with the offhand, I scooped it.
And he says he held on.
I held it so I could have squeezed oil out of this ball.
Angeletti says he sort of blacked out, only coming to when someone behind him ruffled his hair.
When it brought me back to where I was and the enormity of the moment for Toronto and the city and the lead, and just boom, in a moment.
A moment that was caught by friends and family across the country.
I was glued to the TV, and then somebody from Montreal he says, was that your son who caught the ball? I said, no, I don't know.
Renzo Angeletti called his son immediately to confirm he had in fact caught the Springer dinger.
I couldn't have imagined with 45,000 people there, and he didn't have tickets, and he bought one single ticket. What were the odds?
After that incredible catch, Angeletti says he secured the ball in his glove with his hairband.
I've dropped a ball or two in my life, let me tell you, okay? No way I was dropping this one.
Angeletti waited after the game, hoping to see the player whose name is not only etched on the back of his jersey, but now in Jays history.
He never showed, and I didn't want to make a deal or pass it off to some staffer and leave, so I just decided to hold on to it.
As for what he's going to do with it?
No official plan. The plan is the ride. I was tired of just passively watching these Jay games on my couch. I wanted to feel something real. And boy, did I ever.
Something he'll never forget. Allison Hurst, CTV News.
The Bathfitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
I'm guessing his wallet felt something too. Have you seen the price of those tickets? My goodness. Alrighty, you know what's free? The weather. We can go ahead and enjoy this decently nice Wednesday morning. It's -3 degrees. That wind chill making it feel more like -7. Conditions are fairly cloudy this hour. Winds are out of the west-northwest, still pretty light. Barometric pressure rising, humidity sits at 98%. We're having a bit of a sluggish start in terms of our temperatures, and we're one of the coolest areas of the province. We're still below freezing. We're basically
basically everyone else has risen above it. And that even is the case for northern Manitoba. I haven't even checked this hour, but yes, everybody at or above freezing. We are going to see temperatures get close to seasonal, I should say, but that sunshine is not going to be joining it. Good amount of cloud coverage to kick the day off, and we stay overcast while the rest of the province clears out nicely. When the kids head out to school, temperatures at about freezing. On the way home, lunch hour, there you go, at 4 degrees, clouds persisting. Get a little bit warmer as they head home on the bus. That's a hair cooler than what we're going to get up to for our high. 7 is predicted, 8 is what's typical. We're going to deal with some clouds overnight as well. Temperatures dipping once again below freezing. Into Thursday, we get some sunshine back. Temperatures starting to inch up, 8 degrees. Friday is a sign of things to come. 11 degrees with those clear sunny skies. Much the case for Saturday. Lots of rays to enjoy, but that Mercury, 16 degrees if you can believe it. Not losing any heat into Sunday, but we'll add in a few clouds. We're going to take a break here on Your Morning Winnipeg, but stick around. We're going to learn about Anna Olsen's new cookbook.
Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. A dream vacation, home renovations, paying off bills. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is grand. Head to the contest page on ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter the code word grand with your info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Winnipeg's $20,000 giveaway. Tune in tomorrow for another code word. Good luck. Now to a couple of matchups as Winnipeg High School JV football teams enter Week 8. Tuesday's matchups were the last of the Junior League's regular season. In Crestview, John Taylor Collegiate hosted Grant Park High School. The visiting team won Tuesday night. Grant Park 48, John Taylor 12. Also on the gridiron, Steinbach Secondary beat out Kildonan East Collegiate 22-15. JV semifinals begin tonight. A new cookbook is ready to inspire you in the kitchen. Baker Anna Olsen is known for her sweet baked delights, but now her new cookbook is exploring the more savory side of our taste buds. The new cookbook, titled Anna Cooks, 125 plus delicious and achievable recipes for every meal of the day. Joining us now is cookbook author Anna Olsen. Good morning, Anna.
Oh, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Now, you're known for your baking, but now you're also exploring different kinds of dishes. Tell us about that side of things.
Well, in this new cookbook, it is truly the way I cook at home. And because I do enjoy baking and sweets, there is definitely a balanced perspective when it comes to the menu options. I am a big fan of the one-pot meal, the main course salad. I adore snacks and nibbles, big fan of the girl dinner. So there's a whole chapter just devoted to those snacks and nibbles. And I'm not going to leave out baking, of course.
Right. And, you know, as a parent, it's the one dilemma I have with my husband every day. It's like, what's for dinner tonight? You're going to make it easy for us.
That's the idea. And within every recipe, in addition to approachable, accessible meals, every recipe has a little note that is called, don't let that stop you. So if you've got an allergy in your household, or you need a substitution, or you're not fond, you know, the recipe calls for rosemary, but I'm not fond of rosemary. What could I use? I'm there to be in the kitchen with you to give you those guiding tips. And let's be real, cooking is very different than baking. Baking is quite linear. You follow the recipe, you follow the method, and you relinquish trust when you put it in the oven. Where with cooking, you can tweak as you go, and it's the privilege of the cook to taste as you go.
Why did you want to create this cookbook?
I really did want to share my savory side with everyone, and you know, when I'm constantly in a recipe creation process, and I found that my baking recipe creation brain was connecting to the way I was simply cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. So I thought, well, there it is. Let's put it out there.
Okay, well, let's talk about some of these recipes you're sharing in the book. What can people expect?
Well, I have a breakfast chapter. So there are the sweet treats, weekend breakfast, but things like my savory Scottish oats with pesto cheese and poached egg is a meal to fuel you on a cold morning. I've got sandwiches, salads. I tend to work with the seasons. That's part of my culinary identity. But one-pot meals that like chicken cacciatore or my chicken mole, but with medjool dates in it to naturally sweeten it, are great examples of recipes. Plus, I mean, now we've passed Thanksgiving. We can look ahead to the holiday season approaching. I've got great appetizer ideas and sweet treats, including cookies that you can make now and freeze to have them on hand.
And you're actually going to be launching this beautiful cookbook. We're looking at some images right now, and they're stunning. You're going to be launching this at McNally Robinson here in Winnipeg tonight. Tell us about that.
Yes, well, I'm in beautiful, drizzly Niagara right now, but I'm about to leave and come see you in Winnipeg. I'll be at McNally Robinson this evening. The event starts at 7 p.m. It's in the Grant Park Atrium, and I would love to see you there. It's been a while since I've been to Winnipeg, and it was at a McNally event, so I'm just thrilled to be invited back.
Well, it's a beautiful cookbook, and the images look stunning. I just want to get my hands on it and start cooking. Thank you, Anna, and congratulations on this beautiful book.
Thank you.
All right, let's go out to the rooftop now. It looks beautiful out there, too, with the yellow pops of color behind you, but it's a chilly start to the day.
That is right. Yeah, maybe some of those nice hearty breakfasts, as Anna mentioned, would be a good way to keep you warm on this chillier Wednesday. It's -3 degrees. That wind chill cooling us off a few degrees from there. It is decently overcast, although there are a few patches of clear blue sky here in downtown Winnipeg. Pressure's on the rise, humidity at 98%. Clouds will stick around through us in here in Winnipeg through much of the day. Temperatures not warming too much. 7 is what we're looking at. 8 is what's seasonal. Winds will remain light. The rest of the province has a good deal better forecast, in my opinion. More sunshine on the way, particularly to the southwest. Temperatures there peaking in the low teens. To the north, while you two are dealing with similar temperatures with more patches of sunshine, there is a slight chance of some rainfall, maybe some flurry activity mixed in there. In fact, Thompson started off the morning very early this morning with some flurries. That light chance continues off and on throughout today and tomorrow. While we here overnight in southern regions deal with a few clouds and maybe some fog patches, temperatures dipping below freezing. Then into tomorrow, we get the sunshine back here in Winnipeg, a high of 8 degrees. And from there, that mercury continues to climb into the weekend. And by Saturday, we're back under the sunshine with a high of 16 degrees. Your Skywatch picture of the day, this one snapped by Pat Pajak in Winnipeg Beach. Lovely shot there of the sunset. If you've got any photos, sunset or otherwise, but weather themed, send them our way at winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
The continued U.S. government shutdown is leaving Canada in the dark when it comes to exports. StatsCan says it hasn't received any data on U.S. imports of Canadian goods for the month of September. That means it may not be able to release the scheduled trade figures on November 4th. Well, gold is extending its losses after taking a hit yesterday. The precious metal dropped to a more than 12-year low on Tuesday, driven in part by an easing of geopolitical tensions. The pullback brought a quick stop to the rapid advances that have been underway since mid-August. Warner Brothers Discovery is considering putting itself up for sale. The entertainment giant said it recently received unsolicited interest from multiple parties. Some of the potential suitors are Netflix, Comcast, Apple, and Amazon. WBD says it is keeping its options open. And those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Lindsay Biscaya.
Haunted, spooky, or just plain fun, here at Your Morning Winnipeg, we love Halloween, especially those decorated yards and homes, and that's why we're looking for a Halloween house to highlight during our October 31st show. If you think yours fits the bill, you could win a $500 gift card from St. Mary's Nursery and Garden Centre and have the chance to show off your Halloween house live on Your Morning Winnipeg with a visit from Ainsley McPhail. To enter, head to our contest page at ctvwinnipeg.ca, fill out the form, and submit some pictures. Good luck. Inflation is accelerating faster than expected in Canada. The Consumer Price Index rose to 2.4% in September. Gas is one factor behind the inflation bump, and as CTV's Kathy Lee reports, Food was the other.
The aroma of fresh brews mingles with the tension of the rising cost of this commodity. Johanna Schwartz has had to slightly increase the price of a cup, but will hold it steady for now.
It's really important that we stay accessible. So if that means that we have to take a bit of a bite on that for a while, we will.
Coffee, just one of the items driving up grocery price inflation, according to Stats Canada. Beef is the other. Supply shortages for both and high demand are driving up the price.
We've seen beef go up in year over year over 10%. Coffee has gone up more than 20% in the past year.
StatsCan also shows Canadians are paying 4% more year over year last month for groceries. The jump mainly due to the high cost of fresh vegetables, sugar, and candy.
Some of those costs that you're experiencing in the current StatsCan had been impacted by retaliatory tariffs that the Canadian government had put in place.
The lingering impact painful for many.
Usually I set a budget of like $250 and that only gets me like a week.
Schwartz also feeling the struggle, personally and as a business owner. It's a daily grind, but she'll do what she can to keep the coffee flowing.
It's not much how much, but how long. How long can we handle the absorption, right? So I would say for us, we would have to probably sit for around maybe 3 or 4 months.
Experts say the lingering effects of the retaliatory tariffs will eventually subside and ease food price inflation in the near future. As for beef, it's expected that it will take a couple of years for those prices to fall. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Calgary.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
A cool and cloudy start to this Wednesday here in Winnipeg. -3 degrees this hour. Wind chill making us feel more like -7. Couple patches of sunshine though. Winds out of the west, northwest. Barometric pressure rising. Humidity at 98%. Yeah, we'll get a little bit of sunshine, but we're going to be one of the cloudiest portions of the province today, even though we're all starting off under a good blanket there. In fact, there's also been a bit of snowfall in the Thompson region, about a 30% chance of that continuing, maybe with some rain mixed in through much of northern Manitoba. Likely, though, you're going to be staying dry. Same goes for us here in Winnipeg. Not a terribly warm day, as mentioned. 7 is what we're looking at for our high. 8 is what's typical for this time of year. Good news is winds are staying light, and those clouds, rather, bringing with it not a lot of sunshine, maybe a patch or two. Into tonight, skies remain partly cloudy, maybe some fog rolling in. Temperatures dipping below freezing, and those winds out of the west still light at 10 kilometers per hour. Into tomorrow, we start to heat up slightly. 8 degrees is what we're looking at. We'll take that improvement. Winds once again out of the west. A little bit more sunshine there. A mix of sun and cloud off and on throughout the day. But the back half of the week, chef's kiss. 11 degrees on Friday under those mainly clear sunny skies. Overnight, maybe a few clouds here or there. 5 degrees, not losing a ton of heat. Skies clear out once again on Saturday. Look at these highs, 16 degrees into Saturday. Not even dipping too much overnight to 8. Sunday, throwing a mix of sun and cloud with a high of once again 16 degrees. The bad news is things take a bit of a turn overnight Monday. Maybe not so bad if you like the rain, because that's coming our way. 12 degrees, so at least we stay decently warm. That rainfall should continue overnight, tapering off on Tuesday.
Thousands of dollars worth of American booze has gone down the drain as a result of the province's decision to retaliate against U.S. tariffs. Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries confirms more than $26,000 worth of expired wine and cream liqueurs were thrown out after being pulled from shelves earlier this year. The province says it was purchased before the ban went into effect. The Premier ordered Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries to stop selling U.S. products back in February in response to steep U.S. duties on Canadian products. West Winnipeg officers had an unusual call Tuesday morning. 2 horses on the loose. The animals wandered through Charleswood, including along busy Wilkes Avenue and past a local high school. Officers worked with neighbors to corral them, and the owners guided the horses home with a police escort. With traffic, nearby farmland, and a CN rail line, it was a potentially dangerous situation, but the animals were safely restrained. No one was hurt, and the horses returned home safely. The city of Winnipeg is looking to sell off some of its properties for just $1. The catch? The sites must be developed as housing for vulnerable Manitobans. The city's Property and Development Committee approved an amended plan to sell some vacant sites on Stella, McPhillips, and Plessis. An application for Sherburne Street was denied after residents voiced concerns about losing the public green space. The committee is also considering selling a site at Poseidon Bay. The amended plan still needs to be voted on by the committee before going in front of City Council. Eyewitness footage captured a deadly tornado ripping through a community north of Paris. The twister left one person dead and multiple people injured. The footage shows cranes toppling as the tornado ripped through the town. France's Interior Minister described the storm as sudden with a rare intensity. A major watchdog is shining a spotlight on the Canada Revenue Agency. The Auditor General revealing that in many cases, call centers designed to help Canadians cut through complicated tax questions just weren't doing their job. CTV's Abigail Beeman has more on the findings.
You need to be stalled, you don't need to be dropped, you need to be dealt with and worked with.
David Cornish is not surprised. The Auditor General reports people calling the Canada Revenue Agency waited twice as long as last year to get through. He's wasted enough time himself.
Hours and hours, and then dropped. And the next day, hours and hours, and then dropped.
The report also found callers only got accurate information to general questions about benefits 56% of the time. Business tax questions were 54% accurate. And at the bottom of the barrel, general individual tax questions answered correctly only 17% of the time.
We found that the accuracy was much higher when questions pertain to specific accounts.
Why does this government force Canadians to pay so much for such terrible service?
You're getting the wrong answers most of the time. It cannot be, it's not acceptable, and it needs to change.
The union boss blames working conditions, cuts, and a lack of training.
They're watching the employees like Big Brother. They are almost harassing them when they take too long to go to the washroom and their breaks, instead of focusing on the accuracy and then giving them sufficient training.
The minister responsible says they're looking at improving AI bots and scheduling calls.
I'm not prepared to say we're going to cut. I'm not prepared to say we're going to add. We're looking at it. We're going to make service better.
The government says they've already made great progress with a 100-day plan to improve services. The union calls it a Band-Aid, saying if there's no new money in the budget, things may only get worse.
And here's a look at the current traffic situation right now on St. Mary's Road. Things have really picked up over here, as you could see, but we have no traffic stalls or delays to tell you about other than what you're seeing here. If you see any problems out there, text them to us, please. And here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.32. The provincial average is lower at $1.25. In Winnipeg, the average is also $1.25, and the lowest price in the city is $1.08. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
For our question of the day, we wanted to know, have you ever had a paranormal experience? Marilyn says when she was 12, she and a girlfriend both saw a man all in white, a ghost, and a record player went on by itself. Jackie says where I work, some of the employees will not go into the basement. I personally, along with others, have had a sensation of someone touching your neck or shoulder with cold fingers and had hair lift up on its own into the air. Ooh, that's spooky. Leona says that she was chatting with her parents in the basement of their house on Riverton and hearing someone walking above. She says there's a very restless spirit there, but they were never afraid. Pamela says she had an out-of-body experience where she rose above her body and another where something fast came into her room on Hargrave Street. Mike says things would move and doors would open and close in the house he lived in as a teen. The house was built around 1910 and some of the previous owners had passed away there. James tells us he felt a hand on his shoulder and thought it was his wife, but when he brought his hand up, there was nothing there. He says his family had many interactions with this ghost, but adds it was kind, warm, and loving. Thank you for your responses today. I'm a little spooked out now. Let's go to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the Lower Fort Garry this morning. Lots of spooky things there too, Ainsley.
Yeah, the stories I've been hearing throughout the morning. I have a story myself, not here, but one of my best friends back home, her family lived next to a cemetery. So I heard some dishes ruffling, among other things that I'm honestly too spooked to mention right now. Enough about that. Ghost tours here at Lower Fort Garry. Lawrence joins us to tell us all about it. You've had some so far. Tell us about what people can expect if they come on the weekend.
Yes, so they can expect to be touring all the buildings here, hearing ghost stories that are based on history and real accounts shared by former and current staff and volunteers as well.
Parks Canada staff have come by and shared their experiences this morning. When it comes to where we're standing right now, this is kind of where it's all finishing off and people can enjoy a refreshment.
Yes, so we're here at the men's house. So this building was built in 1852. It served as rest quarters for basically the tradesmen and men who work for the fort. So yeah, this serves as our tavern. This will be the last stop for guests where they can enjoy free hot chocolate and free coffee after the tour. And we also offer some local beers, non-alcoholic beverages, and some mocktails. And yeah, this is where they can enjoy the rest of the night after hearing those spooky stories.
Well, we were just looking at the jerky going, that looks like a nice little breakfast snack. With the Halloween season, a lot of us like talking about these spooky stories. What do you think people are so intrigued by at the fort?
I guess it's the history of the fort. And I mean, the site was built in the 1800s, so there's got to be a lot of things that took place here. So that's what they can look forward to.
And really connect it back to our roots and our Indigenous roots as well. When it comes to events coming up, because you mentioned history, a 40-year milestone that you want to tell us about, what event is coming up to honor that?
Yes, so we're Friends of Lower Fort Garry. We're celebrating our 40th anniversary, and the event is called Glitter by the River. It's going to be a 1920s themed gala, so it's going to be lots of fun. It's going to happen on June of next year, and they can visit our site. It's folfg.com for more information if they want to buy tickets or they just want to know information about the event.
Have you had any, I'm putting you on the spot here, but have you had any favorite stories, any spooky stories that you've either seen, you've been here a short period of time, or recounted for others?
Well, my favorite story was the story at the Fur Loft. I thought that the place is so creepy itself, but the story just adds to the creepiness. So it's the story that sticks to me every time, especially a lot of times I work here alone. So yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites.
See, I have a witness. I have several witnesses to say it is in fact creepy, and we've been here in the dark.
Yeah.
In the early hours of the morning.
Indeed. Okay, well, you did well and you survived. So we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. It's nice and bright out there.
It sure is, actually. The clouds have tapered off nicely, Rochelle, although we're not going to have a terribly sunny day ahead. Currently, we're still quite chilly. We thought we'd be warmer than this by this hour, but it's -3 degrees, wind chill making it even cooler than that. Winds out of the west-northwest still light, pressure rising, humidity sits at 98%. We are getting more pockets of sunshine than expected. Actually, much of the province will deal with lots of sunshine. Temperatures, though, as mentioned, are pretty sluggish. We're getting up to 7 in Winnipeg. 8 is what's typical. Other regions, though, might be doing better, namely Westman. You could be seeing temperatures in the low teens. To the north, mix of sun and cloud for you, maybe a little bit cloudier in the northwest corner. Slight chance of some rainfall and maybe some mixed precipitation, adding some wet flurries in there. That risk persists overnight, while we here in the south deal with some clouds, maybe some fog patches. Into tomorrow, the sunshine emerges once again through southern Manitoba. Temperatures starting to heat up a little bit. 8 is what we're looking at in Winnipeg, but the weekend is looking picture perfect gorgeous. 11 degrees on Friday under plenty of sunshine, and then 16 degrees the highs for both Saturday and Sunday with lots of sunshine to enjoy. We're going to take a break, pay some bills, but stay with us. Your Morning Winnipeg still coming back.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
The old Canada Packers site at Marion and Archibald in St. Boniface could soon look very different. A major infill project called the Water Tower District was unveiled by developers Tuesday. Those plans include a big grocery chain, retailers, and more. CTV's Jeff Keel shows us how those in the area are feeling about the plan.
The Canada Packers meat plant in St. Boniface was imploded in 2001. Left behind since then, an empty site, 165 acres. But now, Development plans are taking shape.
A very nice addition to an infill place. It's always been there.
Shindico says it's acquired 14 acres to start the retail component of the project in 2027. Area businesses and residents can expect restaurants, drive-thrus, and a 30 to 40,000 square foot anchor tenant, a grocery store. The developer says they're reaching out to the big chains like Safeway, Co-op, Sobeys, and Loblaws.
There's enough market share, and there hasn't been a new grocery store or new retail in the area for a long time.
The property, known as the Water Tower District at Marion and Archibald, will also include hundreds of residential units, offices, industrial lots, and park space, so customers for the retailers are built in.
People have to see the rooftops. People have to see the customers.
But traffic is already a concern for many who use this intersection, especially when trains bog things down.
Together with the residential across the street, it's going to be a crazy corner.
Joe Sisahai, who owns this auto body shop on Marion near Archibald, says adding thousands more people to the mix will make things worse for drivers and his customers.
It's very difficult, turning into the lot here. Most of the times we have to ask them to go to the back.
He'd like to see an underpass constructed and the street widened. City Council long ago abandoned plans for an underpass because of the massive price tag. Shindico says the development won't have a major impact on traffic.
Traffic studies have been done. People, instead of driving by, will drive in.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The Victorians are known for their fascination with the occult, their Christmas traditions, and their etiquette. But you may be surprised to learn about another Victorian-era art form, art made with human and pet hair. It was a way to keep their loved ones close by and memorialize them. Joining us now is the Victorian hairwork artist, Sandra Klowak. Good morning, Sandra.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, this is unusual. Some people would say this is a little creepy or different. But tell us about this tradition. Why did the Victorians love this art form?
Victorians were very connected to death and mourning and wanting to memorialize people in a very sentimental way. And this practice actually started earlier than Victorian times, a couple centuries earlier, in jewelry for mourning practices. But in the Victorian times, they ended up expanding it, and it exploded in popularity. So it wasn't just for when people passed away, but also gift giving between loved ones. So if you think of like a friendship bracelet, but made of hair, people would be wearing the jewelry from their daughter, from their wife, from their mother. When they went away, it would be a keepsake that would keep them close together. And it became a part of fashion, very popular.
And so you decided to bring this back into fashion here in this era. Why were you so fascinated by this?
I love history, and I always go to historic museums and historic houses, and I would see these big wreaths, because there's several types of hair work. One is wreaths, so you can use hair of the whole family, and it serves as a family tree, and people would be very proud of these in their parlor. They would show off their craft work. Women would be doing this in their homes.
That is so cool. Okay, so you've been doing this. How did you perfect this skill?
I was lucky to find, about almost 9 years ago when I started, a key YouTube video from an artist in New Zealand that helped me. And since then, it hasn't been so isolating. I've connected with other people doing it, mostly in the States. There are a few of us in Canada. It's still pretty niche, but we're sharing information now, and it's really nice.
Okay, so you brought some pieces with you today. Tell us about some of these pieces. They're really beautiful. These are animal fur, right?
Yeah, so I do custom keepsakes with human hair as well as pet hair for my clients. They'll send me hair from their loved ones, and I can make something very special for them. So these are examples of that. So over there we have dog and cat hair.
This one here?
That's cat hair, and dog hair.
Okay.
I've also been working with horse hair. I don't have any examples today, but it's finely chopped up and glued down into art. And then I also have this other style.
Okay, so what is, let's talk about some of these pieces here.
This
They're
one,
beautiful. Look at the detailing here.
So that's human hair in a rose. I also have little cat claws on there for the thorns. And this is a looping style you'd see in the wreaths that I was talking about.
Okay.
So I do a lot of pieces in this. You need longer hair for this style.
Okay, and then some of the other pieces here, like this rose that we're looking at. Tell us about this.
This one is a flat work style, and this piece is made from human hair from my son, my little 4-year-old's red hair.
Oh, that's so sweet. And so this is something that you can do to sort of preserve that for yourself as a mom.
Absolutely.
But also there are moms who have the sadder side of the story where they lose their loved one and then they come to you for help. Tell us about that.
It's true. I do all sorts of commission work, and some of the most impactful experiences have been parents that have come with hair of their children that have passed away. And it's been very rewarding experience to work with them to create something extremely personal. They have a piece of their child with them, and the connections I've made through those projects, you really are working with the parent because they have this idea for what they want and to remember their child.
Okay, so what do you want people to know about your art form? Where can they find you?
I am on Instagram at Corporeal Curios, and I do commission work. So if you're interested in a piece, whether it's for someone who's passed away or first haircuts or anything else that you would like, so it's really, you know, spans a lot of options.
And you need a lot of hair to do this, right?
You need a significant amount, especially for the flower pieces, long hair, but for the flat pieces, you just need short amounts. So I can really work with whatever you have, which is nice.
Well, it's fascinating and so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. And if you do want more information, we have a link on our website. Thank you.
Thank you.
Those are indeed stunning. I didn't know what to expect when I heard about hair art, but wow, that's incredible. Okay, taking a look at our current weather situation, -3 degrees. That wind chill making us feel more like -7. Couple clouds lingering out there. Winds are out of the west-northwest. Barometric pressure is rising. The humidity sitting at 98%. We're going to have some clouds kind of dogging us throughout the day here in south central portions of the province. The rest of Manitoba clearing out quite nicely as the day progresses. Meanwhile, we're going to be dealing with some lovely temperatures in a few days. We got to get through another more brisk day, brisker, that's the correct term. 7 degrees is our high today. 8 is more what's typical. Again, a couple clouds, but some patches of sunshine to enjoy here or there. Overnight temperatures dipping down below freezing to -1. Couple clouds, maybe some fog as well. Tomorrow, mix of sun and cloud with a high of 8 degrees. And then from there, we are on the upward path to some above seasonal temperatures. 11 on Friday under sunshine, 16 on Saturday in sunshine before the rain joins us at the start of next week. We're going to take a break. Stay with us. Your Morning Winnipeg still to come.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Centre. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Before we send you off, we're going to show you some fun video. We start off with a very unique instrument. This is an otametone, a Japanese toy that is basically an electronic synthesizer. It looks like a plunger. It makes a very distinctive smile or sound.
Hits the high
sound
notes.
and smile.
Yeah.
Now to another musical instrument, but this one is of the feline variety. Check out this cat pipe. You play it like a regular bagpipe, but instead of a pipe, you blow on the tail, and instead of keys, you press on the cat's belly. Tito is a professional and loves being played.
I don't know, Tito looks over it to me.
And then finally, we tap out with the dancing duo. Matthew and Michael Gardner are 5-time world champion Irish dancers, and it shows. They dance around the world to pop songs like this classic. Another one, Bites the Dust by Queen. It also helps that they're former river dance performers. You can tell.
You know we're showing them tap classes right now, so give me a couple months.
No pressure. This is what you got to get. All right, have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.